What's up? Good Saturday morning, and if you've been following us for any length of time, you know it's Metalheads Unite Day.
That's
So,
right. Yes, it is. Yeah, it just makes the weekends better.
yeah,
Something good, even better.
yeah. Well, I
Uh,
mean, we went from kicking off, the weekend on Friday nights to kicking off the weekend on Saturday mornings. So,
that's true.
that depends on how you look at it, I guess. Uh,
Well, the funny thing is like the way it's been for like the last 3 months with me working third shift. This technically is the beginning of my weekend. Because
well, that's true. Yeah,
I did have to work last night, so this it technically is the beginning of my weekend.
yeah. Your
So yeah,
short weekend, if you will,
very yeah,
time and away.
very yeah, very short
That's
weekend.
probably the only downside of all that, but
It is, but I mean, for right now in the short term, I'll take the money. So I mean, I made a pretty good chunk of change last night. It was all time and a half. So
well, hopefully too they'll wind up getting things situated and the help they need where they don't have to work you guys every all that. So
yeah, that'd be nice. It'd be nice if we didn't have to work 3 out of every 4 Saturdays. But
yeah, every other one's kind of been
I
the
could at least.
norm.
The funny thing is, I could deal with every other.
It was kind of the norm when I was in the auto
Yeah,
industry. It
I
was
could,
kind
I
of
could, I
every
could.
other.
Yeah, I could deal with every other because I mean, when you're working 3 out of every 4 Saturdays, it feels like all you're doing is like sleeping and working.
The thing
Really,
with
I mean,
the
just ugh.
thing when I was at Nissan, the thing was is you had to be. They were like, well, we would if we were this far behind, then we would do the Saturday. Um,
Right.
yes, we do read chats. Thank
Yes,
you.
yes, yes, we do. Farsh and chops. I like that. Yeah. Joining us on Twitch. Wow, we got someone joining us in the chat on Twitch already. Very, very nice. Yes, welcome. We do keep up with the chat. Yes, we do. Thank you.
We do our best anyway. So
Yeah.
it depends on the phone.
Father and son. No, we are
Yeah.
not.
Oh my God.
No, we are not.
We're
Nope.
a little bit too close together in age for that to be happening. So
I mean, do we look alike?
no,
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 I
nothing
don't think
nice.
so. But
Nah, I don't think so.
nope. Not just a couple of just a couple of metalhead friends.
Yeah, yeah. All right, guys. I guess if you've noticed, we're kind of down a guest today. So we've been having a pretty good streak with guests
Yeah.
for the last I don't know month and a half or so. I guess so.
Yeah, it hasn't been a month and a half straight, but yeah, I mean
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
it's been pretty decent. Last 3 weeks, we had Gus Rios last week. Got to talk with him about Cold Slither. Then we had Anger Machine. Then we had Degenerate. So we've had we've had like a nice little string of guests here the last little bit. So of course, we did have some time off here and there for some family stuff, emergency stuff, so stuff that's kind of definitely unplanned and certainly unavoidable. But we're moving forward. So, but we came out of that with three really really good guests. So,
yeah.
and we've got a guest coming up next week. We're not going to tell you guys who that is just yet. And we have quite a few things that we're actually trying to nail down and coordinate and stuff like that. So I mean, we're always trying at least. So
Yeah, there's never I guess there's never a time where I don't have an email to somebody at some
yep,
point. So, which
yep,
I've already this week we were talking earlier before the show kicked off about
yep,
contacting some other bands. So hopefully
yep.
that'll pan out. And,
The plans that we want to make moving forward. Absolutely.
yeah, so I mean, we like doing this part of it, but we also enjoy talking to the bands. So I probably
Oh yeah,
enjoy that a little more. But all of it's metal related, so that's kind of our love and
yep.
passion at this point. So
hmm
and,
Absolutely.
and it's a lot easier on my old body. So
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, it absolutely is. Yeah. The only thing we got to worry about now is getting wrapped up in a 3.5 hour interview and our asses going numb.
well, yeah, there you go. So
that's about the only danger we've got at this point.
I guess I should put the thing up there, right? See, I told you, man. It's like I'm new to this or something.
Right. Uh,
All I'm used to having all that stuff for the bands. The news to scroll across for the bands, and then of course we get to bring that to you live this week, so we don't have to scroll it.
That's right.
And then,
That's right.
usually have the little Metalheads unite with whoever the special guest is. So
Yep.
so yeah, I'm kind of excited about the interview next week. It's going to be a first for us, I think.
It will. It will be a first for us.
So it'll be very interesting. So. All right, I guess we need to kick this bad boy off. So,
Yeah, we need to get back. We need to get back into the swing of things here with the classic format.
Yeah, so
Not
kind of, not to rest off you. Couldn't just let us rest in peace. I mean, uh, anyway, we usually kick this thing off with some birthday shout outs. We talk about, before getting into this, we talked about how we've been off for certain things. And when you brought that up, I didn't really think about it. And I was just like, man, a lot has happened to us in general in the last, 6-8 weeks. So
yeah, it's been a hell of a summer, both good and bad.
We had a passing, we've had birthdays. You had a birthday in there somewhere, and
yep.
Then we had I had a birth in the family on my side, so it's kind of that was kind of wild. So especially it was kind of short notice and unexpected for everybody. So,
right? Yeah.
So it was people say how that happened. Well, when you were diagnosed saying you can't get pregnant, I guess you don't really think about ever getting pregnant. So that was kind of we kind of call him the little miracle baby because it's kind of what he was. So but yeah, so I didn't realize, man, it has been on pretty good eventful for everybody. Man, damn.
Yeah. Yes, it has.
So for us to even get those days in, to do shows has probably been pretty amazing, to be honest.
Yeah, that is true.
All right, man. Let's kick this thing off with a few birthdays. I went ahead and went back to the 1st of August since we're on the first, the kind of front end of the month. So might as well just get them all in. And you know what I didn't do? I didn't go back through Facebook.
I tell you what, you go ahead.
Shout outs.
You go ahead and read off the list, and I'll do that.
Okay, sounds good. All right, August 1st, we had Joe Elliott, vocalist for Def Leppard, and then we had Dan Donegan, guitarist for Disturbed. Did you meet? That's Dan's one you met in the airport, right?
No, that was John Moyer, the bassist.
Oh, okay. I knew there was one of those guys you told the story about that one time, so couldn't remember which one it was. Okay, gotcha. August 2nd, we had Joe Lynn Turner, vocalist, guitarist, and songwriter, mainly known for Rainbow, but he was in a few other projects as well. We had, all right, let me see.
Not for nothing, but I like the fact that Joe Lynn Turner decided to ditch the wig and is singing bald now.
Oh yeah,
no, he looks good. He really does. He looks good. He looks good without the wig.
Yeah. That's pretty funny. Let's see, kind of a rock star thing going on there with he wore the wig,
mm-hmm.
the movie.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Now I'm gonna try to do this. I'm not sure if it's Jan or Jan because it's kind of over in that area of the land. I'm gonna say it's probably Jan.
Probably Jan.
Just because of where it is. So Jan Axel Blomberg, a drummer for Dimmu Borgir, Wiz, and Mayhem, which Mayhem is going to be in some headlines here shortly. Hint, hint. So that's not a prediction. That's a spoiler. August 3rd, we had Martin Atkins, drummer for Nine Inch Nails and Killing Joke, and he was also a college lecturer on the music industry, which is kind of I had to include that because I thought that was kind of interesting. That he probably a lot of people don't know that about him. So kind of cool. And then we had Brandon Chapati, vocalist for Bleeding Through, Stephen Carpenter, guitarist for the Deftones, and of course Papa Het, James Hetfield, vocalist, guitarist from Metallica.
Yep.
August the 4th, we had Robin Crosby, guitarist and vocalist for Rat, and he follow any kind of metal for the last 30 years, and you know who that is, and you probably remember his passing in 2002. Then, of course, we had Max Cavalera, guitarist and vocalist for, I don't know, let's give me a minute. Clear my throat for this one.
Right, yeah. You need to do the you need to do the thing that you need to do the Ace Ventura. They do.
Yeah, right.
You
Right.
need to do that. Yeah.
But of course, better known for Sepultura, and nowadays probably better known for Cavalier Conspiracy or Soulfly.
Mhm.
He's also been in Go Ahead and Die, Kill or Be Killed. All those are his bands. Like they, are all active as well. And probably we kind of talked about that last week with Gus about how many active bands he had. So I was like, man, you trying to keep up with Max there? So, and I'm sure Max has more than one I just mentioned, but that's kind of the
I bet he does.
the more notable ones. So I didn't realize, man, until just now. This is kind of a all-star birthday list, man. It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
August the 5th, we had Eddie Fingers Ojeda, guitarist and songwriter for Twisted Sister and Scarecrow, and that kind of reminded me of why when we interviewed Jason McMasters, why he was doing the whole thing to Eddie, because hell, he was in Scarecrow with him. So, we had Pat Smear, of course, real name is George Ruthberg, guitarist for Foo Fighters and Dream Widow. Christian Ode Wolbers, bassist and songwriter for Fear Factory. And then I'm going to kill this one. Chris probably had to correct my pronunciation with this name because he may know, but it's looks like Ika Topinen, cellist for Apocalyptica.
You got close.
Yeah, close enough.
Yeah, you got close. Man, dude, I'm telling you, man, Finnish names are tough.
They are, man.
They are. They are tough.
You never know, like.
Well, they're full of vowels.
Well, so yeah, so it's kind of. I think they use them all too. Yeah. Even the sometimes Y most of the time.
Well, here's the fucked up thing about sometimes Y and W. The fucked up thing is in Finnish, W's are pronounced as V's.
Right.
Well, that just makes it even more difficult.
Exactly. Very true.
It's like, make up your mind, Finland. Make up your mind.
August the 6th, we had Vinnie Vincent, guitarist for Kiss from 82 to 84, and then, of course, his own Vinnie Vincent Invasion, and, of course, he does solo stuff now, but one of Aaron Camaro and Chris, what's it, how you pronounce his last name? Czynszak, yeah, there you go. One of their favorite artists. They probably not listen to the show, so it's all right. Go back.
You better hope not.
Yeah. So all of you go follow Decibel Geek and ask them how much they love Vinnie Vincent. And tell them Jason from Metalheads Unite sent you.
Yep.
Aaron would kill me.
Yeah.
August the 7th, we had Bruce Dickinson, vocalist for Iron Maiden. This was the big day, actually. So we had me a minute here. Let's see. Michael Wyckoff, guitarist for Halloween. Johnny Solinger, singer-songwriter for Skid Row from 99 to 2015, and he unfortunately passed away in 2021. Leon Strait, vocalist for Snot, and he unfortunately passed away in 1998. And if you're familiar with that, you're familiar with Seven Dust's song Angel Son, which was wrote about him. And then later, of course, dedicated to LaJohn Witherspoon's brother. But at the time, that's what they wrote the song for. So. Then we had Gall, vocalist for Gorgoroth. Then Jamie Josta, vocalist for Hatebreed. August 8th, we had Les Binks, drummer for Judas Priest from 77 to 79. And unfortunately, we had a report on that earlier this year where he had passed away this year. So,
yep.
Ricky Rocket, drummer for Poison. Scott Stapp, vocalist for Creed. Sam Topman, guitarist for Dragon Force. And then today, August 9th, we had Marinus Rhinus Garrettson, bassist and keyboardist for Golden Earring, Greg Chasson, bassist for Badlands, Kyle Keiderling, bassist for Bane Tango. That's a bassist day. Lee Kakati, vocalist for Pop Evil, and Telly Smith, vocalist and guitarist for The Word Alive. So that's what I had. I know we had a few extra ones on Facebook.
We do have. We do have some on Facebook, but before I forget, because you brought up Ricky Rocket, I posted something earlier to the group. He beat cancer. He beat
Yeah,
his
he did.
he beat his stage 4 cancer without surgery.
Yeah, yeah.
I just saw that today and I thought that was fantastic. I mean,
No,
feel how you want to feel about Poison. I know they're kind of a polarizing band, but feel how you that whatever. That dude just beat stage 4 cancer.
pretty
That's
amazing.
fantastic news. That's amazing.
Pretty
And I
amazing.
wanted
Usually
yeah,
don't. It usually doesn't go that way when you get
no.
into that stage. So
So yeah, I wanted to bring that up. Well, since you mentioned Ricky Rocket before, I forgot.
yeah,
All right,
cool.
let's see what we got here. We have Dennis Snake Belanger, singer of Voivod. Who else we got? Let's see. Scrolling back through here. Longtime friend and group member Lance Anderson. He had a birthday this week.
Oh yeah.
Let's see what else we got. I know there's actually quite a few. Oh, you Michael Wyckoff, you mentioned him already. Danny Schuler, drummer for Biohazard. Jamie Josta. Jamie Josta twice. I think you and I both.
Probably.
I think we both posted that, but that's fine. Let's see. I know there's a couple other ones that I saw. Hani Mohammed, guitars and keyboards for Black Majesty. Ryan Martini, bass player for Mudvayne. Let's see. Was there some other ones? Let's see. I'm making sure I don't go back too far because I know we just went back to. Let's see. Leon Black from Weapons of God. Let's see. Kyle Cunningham from the Nocturnal Affair.
Okay.
Let's see. Who else?
I knew there was a few in there. So
Oh yeah. Let's see. I think that might be getting. Yeah, I think that might be getting back to the part where longtime friend and metalhead Robin Bates. It's another one that we didn't mention. And I do believe that gets us back to that gets us back to the tail end of last week. So yeah, that's good. That's all the extra ones that there were.
cool.
Yep.
Cool. It was.
That's it.
Did I have? Trying to remember if I had. Okay, I did. I was like, man, surely I didn't miss Bruce Dickinson. So I was like, damn.
No, you didn't. You didn't.
Yeah. I just seen that and I'm like, damn, did I miss it?
Nope. No, you
I didn't.
didn't.
I didn't remember. So I remember seeing the other guy, but
Nope. You absolutely did not miss it.
all right.
Bruce was in there. So
Yeah, cool. That will kick us up into. That will finally kick us up into some metal news of the week, which
that's right.
been a pretty interesting week too. So
Yeah, it has. So we'll go
there's-
ahead and get we'll go ahead and get started. And as we usually do when we have to, we don't like to. We'll start off with a news of a couple of passings. Starting off over at blabbermouth.net with this one. Junkyard frontman David Roach has died after a battle with cancer. On Saturday, August 2nd, Roach's Junkyard bandmate shared the following message via social media. Quote, "It is with great sadness that we announce the passing of David Roach. After a courageous battle with cancer, David passed away peacefully last night at home in the loving arms of his wife. He was a gifted artist, performer, songwriter, and singer, but above all, a devoted father, husband, and brother. Our thoughts are with the entire Roach family and everyone who loved him." End quote. This past February, it was announced that Roach was diagnosed with an aggressive form of cancer. I did a little bit of research and found out that it was skin cancer. It was later revealed that he was battling an aggressive squamous cell carcinoma affecting his head, neck, and throat. He reportedly received the shock diagnosis after falling ill with a quote-unquote fever and cough. Roach, who had been part of Junkyard since 1987, married his wife Jennifer Michael Roach on July 19th, 2025. A GoFundMe page, which was launched by Jennifer along with some of David's close friends, raised $35,000 for the singer's treatment as he had no income coming in and was, quote unquote, struggling to keep a roof over his head. So there is no hyperlink to the GoFundMe in this Blabbermouth story, but there were multiple outlets who obviously broke the story. So, if you want, of course, if you could just go to GoFundMe and type in David Roach, I'm sure you'll find it.
oh yeah,
If you want to donate, because I'm sure there are still medical bills and funeral expenses and all that stuff to take care of on the back end. Thoughts out to David Roach's family, and I'm gonna read the other one real quick because
Okay.
it's not super long, and then we can just move forward with this. This one I actually saw last night at work because it happened yesterday. So this
Oh
one
wow.
is this one is this
Kind
one
of
is
fresh.
new. Yeah, it either happened late last night or early this morning because like I say, I work third shift and I saw it at work. So this one's over at metaladdicts.com. Uh, Jill Lisson, the formidable vocalist and bassist of Pennsylvania death metal act Funerus, has died at the age of 54. Lisson first joined Funerus in the early 90s, contributing to the band's 1994 rehearsal demo number 3. Nearly a decade later, she returned to help shape the group's debut full-length 2003's Festering Earth, where she handled bass duties and co-wrote lyrics. Her role expanded over the years, taking on both bass and lead vocal responsibilities on the blistering 2011 album Reduced to Sludge, and continuing that role for the 2015 EP The Black Death. Her ex-husband, Incantation frontman John McEntee, shared a heartfelt tribute. Quote, "Our deepest condolences go out to the Lisson and Daly families. I'm still processing Jill's passing, but I want to share some photos that friends and supporters might appreciate. They celebrate her life, her lasting impact on the metal underground, and may I say, her role as an inspiration for women in metal. Jill's passion, dedication, and spirit will never be forgotten." End quote. So, like I say, pretty quick and straight to the point. But when I saw that last night, we gotta talk about that. No
Yeah.
doubt about it. So, no cause of death as of right now. Like I say, this story is less than 24 hours old, as far as I know. So, if something kind of comes out with any sort of update about the cause of death, we'll pass that along.
Absolutely. All right. So from that to, I guess, lingering on a passing. My first story here is from Metal Injection. As we all know, during our time off, Ozzy Osbourne passed away in that length of time. So
Yep.
it's been a pretty emotional. I don't know if I've ever witnessed a death that has touched so many people emotionally. Even knowing most of these people never met the guy, but I think that just shows what kind of inspiration and effect he had on people with his music. So,
Yeah.
um,
Well,
but
and it wasn't just with his music. I mean, we were talking about it last week
oh well, yeah.
after the interview with Gus. I mean, they made it. The Osbournes made it into the mainstream, because of their TV
Hmm.
show. Hit their little cameos in movies and shit like that.
Hmm.
So I mean, granted, for like people like you and me, metalheads, the impact and comes from the musical side of it. But I mean, Ozzy's family, they made it into the mainstream.
Hmm.
So I
Well,
mean, they
maybe.
had far-reaching impact.
Yeah. I think for me, it's just like it's the beginning of it's the beginning of the end, kind of, but it's not the end. We know that, but I'm just saying this. They were the first metal band, so now
Hmm.
one member's passing away, two members. I don't remember. I think he's the only one that from the original lineup that's passed. But
Yeah, he
you know,
is.
so now you have like Tony Iommi and all those guys still, Geezer and all them still, alive and doing the. I don't know if they're probably still doing music. I mean, as far as I know they're just not going to do anything Black Sabbath on them, I guess.
Yeah, but
But
the other three of them, they're creeping up on 80.
that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
we got to take that into perspective. Is like the first metal band is about to be all gone,
Hmm.
and man, it's just hard to think about that, man. It really
Yeah.
is. Is I mean, of course, we all know we can't live forever, unfortunately, but yeah, it's just a I guess what's the terms we have to come, something we have to come to terms with. I guess
Yeah.
that we will probably see all of those guys fall, at some point in our lives. So to witness, we didn't get to witness the birth of it, of course, but we got to,
Right.
hear a lot of it growing up in the '80s. But
Yeah.
when we weren't born in the '60s, so we didn't get to really like be a part of that part, and then be a
Right.
part of the passing too. But
Yeah.
like I said, influential in our teen years and all that stuff. So we've still been listening to Ozzy music for 30 years, so
Oh,
or more.
or more. Yeah.
So probably say actually it'd be like 40, almost 40 for me. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy how you can sit back and remember the first time you listened to a metal record. It's kind of crazy. I remember I was like 11 years old, I think, and started. I think I heard some. I think I heard a Metallica song, and I was like, "Oh, this is badass." And then,
Hmm.
of course, got me into rolling into other things. And of course, back then, radio play was kind of decent with uh, with metal and hard rock. I mean, you heard Dokken
Yeah.
and Scorpions and stuff like that on the radio all the
Right.
time back
Yeah.
then. Which you're not going to do that now, but
No.
not unless you're on a classic station and it just happens to pop up. But
Hmm.
or unless you're listening to our radio station,
That's right. That's right.
that
Oh,
streams
I
twenty four
mean,
seven.
I mean, no, I mean, but in all seriousness, though, you're gonna get shit from you're gonna get shit from Black Sabbath. So you're gonna get stuff from the beginning of heavy metal to now. Like
Yeah,
you're looking at now, sir. What happened to then? We passed it when just now.
that's right.
So I mean, so
Uh,
I mean, and there's going to be shit that came out yesterday that's going to be on that radio station
yep.
within the week. So you're going to get everything dating all the way back to the beginning with Black Sabbath, all the way up until the new releases, and anything in between.
Yeah. I actually just put three of the last three new release playlists. I just uploaded those the other day.
Yeah. See. So I mean, there it
So
is.
so
Yeah,
I'll
and if
need.
you like we say at the end of the show, not trying to jump the gun. Like we say at the end of the show, if there's something you guys think we don't have, send it to us. We'll get it added.
Yeah,
We will
we can't
add we
we
will
can't
add
get we
anything.
can't we can't guarantee when you can hear it because it's not a live DJ. Of course,
Yeah,
it's just a it just kind of rotates through its own thing. So I
but
do listen, but I do listen to it a lot. So I mean,
yeah,
it's if there's something on there that because we can't control some of the downloads that we do because some of it winds up being covers or something. But and then I'll listen if you hear any of that, let me know too. I'll get rid of it, put
yeah,
the actual song on there. But
we'll replace it. Yeah.
yeah, but
I
yeah, I
think
only,
I
only have
think I think considering the fact like we talked about, it's just the two of us. I think considering the fact that it is just the two of us, I think we do a pretty good job of
yeah
of
like
of of maintaining
mm,
an ever expanding database of music
mm,
that plays just plays nonstop.
and like I said, I listen to it, probably a couple times a week. So if I hear stuff on there sometimes. I'm like, yeah, that's not that song. That's not what it's supposed to be. So
Yeah.
so I'll go out and delete it and then try to go find the
Yeah.
go find the right one. So
Yeah.
and like I said, a lot of times in the beginning we were using a different platform to download from. So
Right.
it was kind of iffy at that point. So there's a lot of older stuff on there that could be kind of you know cover stuff or where somebody
Yeah.
has covered drum covered or guitar covered or some of it's amazing though because I listened to one of them and I'm like, man, I can't really tell. That's pretty wild. I was like, if he
Uh,
covered it, I can't tell it. So
that's a good cover. Yeah.
actually, yeah, it's a good cover. Yeah. So, anyway, back to the news here. So
Right. Yeah. Sorry.
I
That's fine.
spent no that sounds fine. If we went straight in the line on this podcast, I would probably quit the day we do
Yeah, right. Yeah.
that. We are the drunk drivers of heavy metal. We're never in a straight line. So
No. No, we aren't.
anyway, this was over from Metal Injection. I think most of mine came from Metal Injection this week, which was kind of surprising. So,
Nice.
but Sharon Osbourne has strongly denied media reports claiming that Black Sabbath and Ozzy Osbourne's farewell concert, Back to the Beginning, raised nearly $200 million for charity, which, before I get too involved in this, is kind of disheartening for us because we announced it because we were proud of it.
Yeah.
When we announced it. And now to hear this is kind of like, really?
Uh huh.
But that's media is doing what media does. So, The highly publicized show, held on July 5th at Villa Park in Birmingham, UK, was both a tribute to Sabbath's legacy and a farewell performance by Ozzy Osbourne, who died just over 2 weeks later on the 22nd of July. Though the concert was hailed as a moving final chapter for the metal legend, recent headlines about the event's charitable earnings have sparked confusion and, according to Sharon Osbourne, outright misinformation. In a Polestar interview conducted on July 17th, Sharon shot down the widely circulated claim that Back to the Beginning raised nearly $200 million or 140 million pounds, calling the reports highly exaggerating and misleading. Quote, one of the things that's frightening me is all of the false press about how we made $140 million and all this. And I'm like, God, I wish we could have. For one gig, Sharon said, it's just ridiculous, the different stories. I went on the internet the next morning and it was like 140 million, 160 million. I'm like, where does this stuff come from? The inflated figure originated from a now deleted Instagram post by Tom Morello, the show's musical director, who claimed the event had generated approximately $190 million for charity. Billboard and The Guardian echoed those estimates, citing sources that claim nearly 6 million viewers tuned into the event's pay-per-view live stream, generating about $150 million in revenue. Yet, according to Sharon, those numbers are not just inaccurate, they're premature. Quote, it takes really long time to arrive at the final number that will be donated to charity because we've had a lot of the bands that we had come in and their expenses, and it will take a good 6 weeks to get that final number, she explained. When Polestar's Ray Waddell remarked that such exaggerated figures could be misleading, especially for charities like Birmingham Children's Hospital, Acorn Children's Hospice, and Cure Parkinson's, who were reportedly set to benefit, Sharon agreed. Oh my God, it's the Children's Hospital, a Children's Hospice, and Parkinson's research. Everybody thinks that they're going to cure everything with this much money, but it's not the real world. Despite the financial confusion, Sharon emphasized that the emotional and symbolic success of the concert. It featured a rare solo performance by Ozzy, along with appearances by Metallica, Slayer, Pantera, Tool, and more. It was a phenomenal event. It was the first time I think that anybody's gone into retirement and done it where the show is streamed and it goes to charity. So it's the first time anybody has said goodbye like that. It's the perfect way when you've had such a long career to end it. I never wanted Ozzy to just disappear without some big event. End quote. So there you go. So hopefully we'll get an actual number, soon, because I mean that's been a minute since that concert happened. So I mean it's coming up on 6 weeks. So
Yeah.
so hopefully they'll get a correct number soon, and hopefully it's somewhere in that ballpark maybe. So.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about if it was a pay per view and that many people watched it, I mean that's a pretty good chunk of change. So
Yeah. It is.
so
Yeah, it is. Plus, yeah, who knows how much it's going to be. But yeah, I mean, it kind of sucks that the number wasn't accurate because like you say, we said it was. Well, of course, that's what we were told. We
right.
read it, we reported it. Turns out it's wrong. It kind of sucks to have to kind of backtrack on that, but you know,
Yeah, like I said, it is what it is, though, and
such as it is.
we just have to
Yep.
move on and hope for the best. So,
Yeah. All right, I'm moving over to the PRP for my next one, and this is one that I found this morning. It was from a few days ago, but it actually isn't one of the ones that I sent you. So this one is going to be news to you too. So
oh wow, okay,
yeah. Silly Goose have launched a crowdfunding campaign to
oh
help
yeah,
with the legal costs associated with their vocalist Jackson Foster's recent arrest for playing an impromptu live show in a BP gas station parking lot. After performing at the annual Lollapalooza festival in Chicago last weekend, the new metal revivalists decided to stage a makeshift show at the gas station after obtaining permission from the manager. However, police eventually responded and arrested Forster for trespassing. After being released, the band returned to the lot across the street from the gas station the next day to hold an informal listening party for their upcoming album, Keys to the City. Staging guerrilla performances in unconventional settings is a common occurrence for the band, who have also already performed in a Waffle House, a Cracker Barrel, a Buc-ee's, a Subway, a McDonald's, and a Chick-fil-A, among other questionable locales. Foster said of his current legal situation and the campaign behind it, quote, "My name is Jackson Foster, and I'm the vocalist of Silly Goose. On Thursday, July 31st, we played Lollapalooza, and it was legendary. Then on Saturday night after Lollapalooza, we played a show on top of our van at the BP outside the festival to continue to raise awareness for our upcoming record, Keys to the City. We had received permission from the manager, and we had even done the same thing the previous year. He was going to let us play in front of gas pump 2 and 4 for 1 hour in exchange for $100. All of a sudden, the cops showed up, and that didn't seem to matter. Nobody got hurt. We were just playing music, and when the cops got there, we stopped playing. I got off the van and was immediately put in handcuffs and brought to jail with little to no explanation. I spent the night in jail and received a criminal trespass charge. After speaking with my team, this is the amount of money we predict that we will need for legal fees and hiring an attorney. It is crucial we get this charge off my record so that we can tour overseas in the future. Any help is appreciated. Thank you." End quote. You can kick in over at GoFundMe. Silly Goose have multiple proper tours lined up for the year and are preparing to release their new album Keys to the City on October 10th. And in case you're wondering, said GoFundMe is at $6,923 raised of an $8,000 goal. So they are 87%
Close.
of 87% of the way to where they would like to be. So I have questions.
Yeah. I think
I
we
have
all do.
Yeah, I have questions. I mean, just a couple. If you got permission,
Mhm.
who the fuck called?
Exactly. I can tell you who
I mean,
called.
that, I mean,
The
I mean
shell
that's
next
my main
the shell next door called.
probably because I mean they said they did the same thing the year before. So I mean I'm just I mean I'm just kind of confused. That's actually I don't have questions. I have question because I mean
Yeah.
you know so that's the thing is how can you get criminal trespassing
When you have permission to be there. So.
from a business when you had permission to be there? I don't know. It's strange to me. I don't know. I don't understand it. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a weird one for sure.
It's
So
a strange one. Yeah. But I saw it and I mean I got a kick out of it. I got a kick out of it, but at the same time I was like, why the hell did he get arrested
yeah.
when he had permission? So it's just it's strange.
Well, like I said,
That's
that's
that's a weird one.
probably going to get thrown out. I would imagine if that's the case. I mean, the only thing they had to do is the people that's on the property show up and say he had permission, and then it's thrown out. So I mean, you would think anyway. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't see how.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah, I mean, sounds to me like they've done this a few times. More than a few actually, but so they know what they can and can't get away with. Obviously, by this
Well,
point, if you play
I
in
mean
all
this
those places, I mean, they're not dumb. I mean, I'm pretty sure
yeah.
they've gotten a feel of how to handle all this. So, uh, so yeah, it
Yeah, right.
kind of doesn't make sense to me. But hopefully, we'll get an update on that, and he's been let off the hook because that's kind of yeah.
I'm gonna keep Yeah, I mean I'm definitely gonna keep an eye out because yeah, I am interested.
Yeah. All right, this next one from Metal Injection. Decibel Books has officially announced the release of Born Human, The Life and Music of Death's Chuck Schuldiner, the first fully authorized biography of the legendary Death frontman. This landmark publication explores the profound legacy of Chuck Schuldiner. I always have a problem with his name. I have no idea why, but pioneering force, often credited as the godfather of death metal, which I think we can all probably agree on that. Written by acclaimed heavy music journalist David E. Gelk, author of the Scott Burns Sessions and the Turned Inside Out, the official story of Obituary. So yeah, so he's probably a fan too of metal if he's wrote books like that already. Born Human delves deep into the life of Chuck Schuldiner, his groundbreaking music, and his enduring impact on the global metal scene. The book spans nearly 500 pages, including a 32-page color image gallery filled with never-before-seen photos, curated from the personal collections of family, bandmates, and close friends. Oh, those would probably be interesting just to see. The cover
Yes.
artwork. The cover artwork is an exclusive creation by legendary artist Ed Repka, known for his classic metal album visuals. Chuck Schuldiner emerged in the 1980s underground metal scene as the creative mind behind Death, a band that revolutionized the genre with their aggressive, technical, and often melodic approach. The musical vision of Chuck Schuldiner, I start counting how many times they say that, helped define and elevate death metal, influencing countless artists across the globe. Born from a turbulent childhood, Chuck Schuldiner channeled his emotional struggles into a career that fused brutality with progressive complexity. Albums like Scream Bloody Gore, Human, and Symbolic remain seminal works in the genre. Yet Chuck's journey was not without its hardships as he endured internal band conflicts, industry frustrations, and ongoing media scrutiny. Quote, we finally met someone and we came to know over time David E. Gelke, whom we could entrust with our closely guarded family secret, this being the inspiration to the painful journey of Chuck's music, end quote, says Chuck's sister, Beth Welty. Quote, it's a culmination of different perspectives and experiences, not only from my family and myself, but from Chuck's friends, bandmates, and countless people who were infused into the dynamic journey, offers Chuck's nephew Chris Steele. Finally, there is an accurate, I wanted to say that right so it doesn't come off as inaccurate,
Right.
and accurate and concise chronicle of the man, brother, uncle, son, partner, and trailblazer that was Chuck Schuldiner, end quote. In 1999, at the peak of his creative resurgence, Chuck Schuldiner was diagnosed with brain cancer. Despite a courageous fight, he tragically passed away in 2001 at just 34 years old. Born Human captures those final years with honesty and reverence, highlighting both his personal strength and overwhelming support from fans and peers alike. So, it is available for pre-order over at their website, at the Decibel Books website. So, if anybody wants to run over there and get a copy of that, put on hold for when it's released,
Nice.
that's where you can do it. So,
Hell yeah, dude.
so yeah, like we said, we kind of talk about Ozzy. I mean, Chuck was kind of, like they said in there, kind of the godfather of death metal because I mean,
Yep.
nobody had heard anything like that before Death came along.
No.
And,
No, they had not.
so,
Somebody's got to do it. It's got to start somewhere.
oh, I mean, we got so many subgenres now of metal that it's just crazy. But yeah,
Yeah.
when you were back in that time frame, you only had what, a handful, like five or six maybe.
And hell, back then that was probably actually generous.
I mean, probably, yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, you had what, speed metal because of the Slayer and all those bands, and then of course they eventually turned that into thrash as well. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
so speed thrash, doom, I guess, because that's kind of what Black Sabbath was labeled with as being the creators of doom metal, I guess. But,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah.
so definitely an icon of the industry. So
Oh, without question. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Headed over to Blabbermouth for the rest of mine actually. So let's see. Yep. Over at Blabbermouth. In a brand new interview with Iron City Rocks podcast, Candace Knight, who has been married to Richie Blackmore for 17 years, but has been together with the legendary Deep Purple and Rainbow guitarist for 36, discussed the health status of her husband and Blackmore's Knight bandmate. The conversation took place while Knight was promoting her new solo album, Seaglass. Asked about the possibility of Blackmore's Knight returning to the road in the coming months, Candace said, as transcribed by the same fucking website I'm reading from right now, quote, quote, one of the things that's so great about Richie is he can recognize he's very in tune with his own body, and he stays on top of everything. Thank goodness. And when he doesn't, I nag him to stay on top of it, which he hates, but at least somebody's doing it, like eating well and things like that. There's the three main issues with him that's going on. She explained he has a heart issue. He had a heart attack a couple of years ago, so we stay on top of that. He's got gout, so that's difficult. It's affecting his feet really badly, and it's starting in his forefinger, so it's hurting the mobility in that. So he just had an injection for that, and his back, of course, which has always been an issue. He hasn't taken any back injections since he had the heart issue. Stay away from those if you can possibly at all. Trust me. Oh my God. Um, so everything is so everything kind of is working together. So it's hard. It is hard for him, but he's at the point now where he's very smart when it comes to things like that. Elaborating on what makes touring so challenging for someone like Richie at this point in his life, Candace said, it's not so much the travel on a plane. Honestly, it's the aggravation before you even get into the plane and after you get into the plane and all the sitting and traveling. So that'll affect his back and all the rest of it. And the jet lag that stresses your heart, all of these things. Waiting on those lines when you have to get to JFK airport and you have to go to transatlantic and then coming off and going back through the security lines and the customs lines and all the rest of that stuff. And all of that stuff really does take a toll on a human, on a healthy human. So forget about someone who's 80 years old and going through these issues. But he did just say to me yesterday, which I wait for this, with Richie, if you try to pressure him to do something, he instantly says no. He's like a teenager. And so now I've got three of them, but learning how to deal with that a little bit better. So I wait for him to come to the realization, or I drop little seeds here and there and try to wait for him to be ready to talk about it. And he did just say, what about doing some Blackmore's Nights dates in the fall? So, of course, I got really excited about that. So now I've got to contact the agent, but he would rather do places that he can drive to. He takes the night off the next day. Gone are the days where you do 5 shows in a row, including travel. That's just way too much. For anybody, it's difficult to do that. So I'm just, it's getting to be one of those too long, don't read kind of things. So,
I gotcha.
yeah, I mean, she kind of goes on and on and on. So he's dealing with that. So they're trying to coordinate some things and try to mitigate, the impacts of everything. So, but again, same thing we just talked about with Ozzy. Ozzy left us. The rest of the
Yeah,
guys in the band are pushing 80. Richie is, Richie's 80.
yeah.
So I mean, that's one of those things.
It's crazy to think. It's
You
crazy.
you
It's crazy to
you
think
can't
about
go
their age.
110. Yeah, I mean, and you can't go 100 miles an hour forever.
You know, you eventually hit a wall. So I mean,
You just can't. You just can't do it.
it's just crazy to think.
Yeah,
Like a lot
right.
of times, even like with with just take James Hetfield for example. He turned 60. What 64?
Mm-hmm.
Something I don't know. He's in his
62, 3. So yeah,
somewhere around in there, yeah. So, but anyways, beside
yeah,
the point, you're thinking about somebody that you grew up
yeah,
on. You're like, man, are they really? And then you realize how old you are, and you're like, oh, I guess they are. So it's kind of like it doesn't hit me how old
yeah,
these guys are until I realize how old I am, and then I'm like, oh wow, I guess they would be that old. Like that's crazy to think that they're in their 60s and shit. Man, that's just unreal.
yeah,
Um, I guess if you don't see them every 8 years, though, it uh,
yeah.
kind of takes a lot out. Oh yeah,
Well, like
he
I
was
say,
50 when I seen him last.
well,
uh,
yeah. Well, that's the thing is I would have gone to see him this year, but I wasn't paying what they wanted. I just
no,
wasn't doing it.
that's too much, man. And like I said, I think at, at some point I think that like like say the stadium because they did it at the Nissan Stadium where they're building a new stadium right now. So at some point you got to that thoughts
Hmm.
in the back of your mind going they're probably trying to pay for this new stadium with this money. You know what I'm saying? Like you know it's almost kind of like because the band doesn't come up with how much to charge. I mean, that's not how that works. I mean, the band's already getting paid a flat amount to perform. Um, so I'm sure they've negotiated those contracts with every venue that they're going to. So
Yeah, I bet they
I'm
did.
sure Nissan Stadium's like, yeah, we'll give you 500 grand, and then charge these people, charge 80,000 people or whatever it is,
Yeah,
which it wasn't that many because they actually had to start moving people down, but from the high seats because the middle was so empty because couldn't nobody afford that shit, dude. Like
hmm,
the thing that kills me is like I don't know how they don't realize what kind of economy you're in. Like you're not in an economy where you can charge people that much money for seats and sell them. I mean, it's just not.
hmm.
And not to get it was bound to happen. I was actually going to talk to you about this off the show, but since we're talking about this kind of thing, it kind of reminds me. ESPN just struck a deal with WWE, and
I know.
WWE is talking about charging. There's now they're going to charge $30 per pay per view. Like nobody's going to do that though because you've already got them into knowing that they can buy a monthly subscription to Peacock or whatever, and or Netflix or whatever it is, and then they can watch whatever they want to all the
Yep.
time. So now you're trying to say, oh, well, now we're going to charge $30 just for the PPV or PLEs
Hmm.
is what they call them now. But
Yeah,
uh,
PLEs. Yeah.
yeah, but still, that's beside the point. Is like you're going to lose a lot of people. And just trust me,
Yeah, they are.
they're going to lose. And the fact that they took WrestleMania and they did it in Vegas this year, and then they're just going to loop back around and do it again, kind of pisses me off. Because to me, that show was what made everything great because it was always somewhere different. You know what I mean?
Yep.
They moved town to town to town, and they moved. For one, you move it to a big city, and then you got to prep it for a year. I mean, that's like their show, so they prep that shit for a year. Matter of fact, we're coming up on starting like October Survivor Series around in that area. They already start storylining for that.
Yeah, exactly. The road
So,
to WrestleMania. Yeah.
yeah, so they're already probably already brainstorming what they're going to do, or
Hmm.
who they want to fight who, or whatever.
Right.
They just now they got to write it out to make it happen.
Yep.
So to me, you know, and I know Nashville's on the schedule for 27, I think.
I think they
Uh,
are 27. Yeah.
if the stadium gets built on time, because I know there's been some holdups. And the Super Bowl in the same year. So talking about trying to get your money back quick, it's like,
Yeah. No shit.
yeah. But to me, like, I can't wait to see how much those tickets are because they're going to be stupid. I already know they are. So because I went to WrestleMania in 2011, I went to Atlanta, Georgia, I don't remember what center we were in then. Was it the?
Was it still the Georgia Dome or?
No, it wasn't still the Georgia Dome. It was. I think it was where the basketball team played. I want to say that. I
Oh
guess the
shit. I have
Atlanta
no idea.
Hawks. I guess.
Yeah, the Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The Atlanta
I
Hawks.
think we were. I think we were where they played. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, but I mean, it has been like 14 years ago. So,
Hmm. That's true.
but yeah. But I paid. I did the Hall of Fame night, and I did the WrestleMania, which we weren't like super close, but we weren't in the nosebleeds either. We were kind of in the middle for everything. And I paid. I think I remember right. I got 4 tickets for both, and it was a little under $800 for both nights.
It was at the Georgia Dome.
Yeah, it was at the Georgia Dome. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
WrestleMania was at WrestleMania 27.
Yeah, I don't know.
2011. Yeah, it was a 2011
I got 11 now.
professional wrestling pay per view. Took place at the Georgia Dome in Atlanta,
Okay,
Georgia. Yep.
okay. Well, there you go. It was at the Georgia
Yeah.
Dome. So, but anyway, I paid that much money for that. So now you can't even get 2 tickets for that
Right.
for just WrestleMania, not counting nothing else.
Yeah.
And I think that's ridiculous because you're in a to me it almost seems like when all this stuff shut down for COVID, everybody's trying to make up for that money still. It's like, dude, it's been 3 years. You've done got that.
Shit.
You've
It's
already
been
got that
longer
money
than
back.
that.
Yeah, you've already
Yeah.
got that money back, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
At this point, it's been longer than that.
quit screwing people.
Yeah.
Like fuck. To me, that's why I like going to concerts that I go to because if we like say we're going to Non-Point next Sunday, like
Yeah.
we're going to Atlanta because it's an all ages show and we're taking Wyatt to his first concert.
Oh,
So
nice.
yeah,
Hell yeah,
so
dude.
we thought Non-Point would probably be pretty safe.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
want to throw. I don't want to take him to Lamb of God and him get caught in a redneck pit from his first show. Uh,
Or
but yeah, so we thought that would be safe. So 3 tickets, $80.
Mhm.
Like like why do you have to charge so much shit for?
Right.
I don't get it. Like
Yeah.
and Non-Point's a band that's they do a lot of shows. They do
Yeah, they do.
they're on tour a lot. They're in the studio now. So hopefully, speaking of which, I hope we get a record by the end of the year. Maybe you never know. They kind of surprise us with records. So we gotta
They do.
we gotta watch them. They're a little sneaky with records, but yeah. So I mean, it's kind of a thing where it doesn't make sense to me. Okay, Metallica's worth $300 million a piece. Then why do you have to charge everybody $150 for a seat in the nosebleeds? That makes
Right.
no fucking sense, dude.
No, it doesn't. And that's why, like I said, I wanted to go see them. I wanted to
Oh,
go
I
see
did too.
them. I wanted to go.
Yeah, I wanted to go the night they had Pantera, Suicidal
Me too.
Tendencies in there
Me
because
too.
that's my childhood. It's like,
Yeah.
but
But
yeah,
I wasn't, I couldn't
no, I
I
wasn't
could
going.
not, yeah, I couldn't in good conscience justify the ticket
Yeah,
prices. I
because
don't fucking do it.
so we'll take that into consideration. Right? So we went, me and Susie went to Lamb of God and Pantera in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And when we went there, it was at the what the hell's the park out there?
You
I
talking
can't
about the
even remember.
baseball stadium?
I don't think it was at the baseball stadium. It was it was at the outdoor venue there that we've been to. We've been to it 100 times. I can't even think of the damn name of it now. Oh my god. Anyway, I'll think of it at some point. Anyway, we went there. 2 tickets to that show was $107,
Mm-hmm.
and we were in the pit.
Yeah.
So why would I pay? You know, why would I pay? That much money for you know a nosebleed seat that I can't barely see anything with except the thing I always look at it is if I got to sit there, I might as well stay at home and watch it on TV because I'm going to see just as much as
Mm-hmm.
if I'm there because I'm having to watch a TV screen. You're not going to
Yeah.
see anything that high up. I mean, you're going to be
Yeah.
watching a TV screen. So it's
Well, I
kind of
mean,
ridiculous. But,
you remember where we were sitting when we went to Atlanta to see them, and
oh, yeah, yeah.
it was the
Well,
same thing.
yeah. Well, luckily my seats were free, but
But well, no, I mean that's true. But I mean, at the same time, that was still the view we had, pretty much.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean it was a little better there than it would have been at the Nissan Stadium
Oh
though,
well, no
because
doubt. But
I mean those seats up there, are, man, even the wind blows hard up there, and I get a little woozy because it's not very, it's not very. I don't know. To me, it just doesn't feel structurally. I don't know.
well,
It's just
now they're building a dome, so it won't matter. But yeah,
well, exactly, exactly.
it won't matter anymore.
All right, let's circle back. Oh my god, I can't believe I said that. Anyways,
Yep, you did.
I did. I'll just take myself out now. See ya. Staying over at Metal Injection, Crowbar frontman and sludge metal icon Kurt Weinstein will be performing seated when the band kicks off their U.S. Cola headlining tour with I Hate God this week. Track begins August 7th in Orlando, which is already sold out. Good for them. And of course, that was a few days ago now. And runs through August 31st in Pensacola, Florida, with a special Rocks Off concert cruise show in New York City on August 14th. In a candid video message shared on August 5th, Kurt revealed that he's battling either a severe sciatic flare up or a possible ruptured disc in his lower spine. The pain has become so intense that he's now relying on a cane and walker for mobility, which sucks, but major props to the guy for powering through and committing to the tour. Quote, a little quick bit of info. I have sought medical attention both at the hospital and through my chiropractor, who I really love, and I either have, at the worst, a bad sciatic flare up or potentially ruptured disc in my lower spine, said Kirk. I don't know either way, but I don't call in sick, so I'm there to give y'all 100% and please the fans the best I can. So I'm probably going to have to start this tour, which begins Thursday in Orlando, a sold out show, by the way. Thank you all. I'm probably going to start this tour sitting down, but we'll be singing and playing top notch the best I can do. I can't walk right now, and that's the truth. I have a cane, I got a walker, and I've never had this kind of pain in my life. I'm 60 years old, and I've never had this kind of pain. Anyway, I think positive. I don't think negative. So it's going to be great, and we're going to kick ass every night. So thank y'all so much. End quote. At 60 years old, Weinstein spent more than 3 decades leading Crowbar while also leading his signature guitar tone and vocals to Down and Kingdom of Sorrow. Dude's been all over the place across every stage in the world. So, this happens. Good luck to him, and hopefully they'll figure out his issues. I know they're working on a Down record too, so hopefully they figure everything out before he has to do any promoting for that. So
Yeah.
kind of get something in the off season because the guy obviously wants to perform, or he wouldn't be. You know, to me, I'd go see him right now just for that, just because of the respect I have for him going out and doing shows, in that condition because
Yeah.
you know that's but that's a mentality I think for a lot of people in that age group and our age as well is like
Mm-hmm.
I've been a performer and I performed Hurt a lot because I felt like that was to me if my name's on there somewhere and people pay to see that then they paid to see me
Mm-hmm.
not being arrogant about it. I'm just one of the people they paid to see because I'm on the card and they paid a ticket to go see it. So I have to
Exactly.
perform, in some sort of way, shape, or form. I have to perform for them. So, it's kind of I don't know. It's kind of like it's to me like was going to compare it to the movies, but that's a totally different thing because movies you can edit, you can do all kind of things to make them, make the star look like they're there whether they are or not. But
Yeah, true.
when you come into like athletic stuff with football or football players play hurt a lot too. So I mean not so it's just a thing. I think it's more of a competitive thing. Maybe I don't know. It's just crazy to think that.
Yeah,
I mean, you could probably relate to him more than I can because
yeah.
I know you got some back issues,
Oh
probably
man, the
in the
back. Yeah,
same region.
yeah,
most of my stuff's in my back, but I don't have anything like that. It's just more of a stiffness where you got to roll out and put your feet in the floor for a minute and
yeah. See,
get stretched out. So
yeah, that's the thing. Is I mean, and especially with your lower back when it flares up, it affects
it
everything.
does.
Oh my god, it affects everything. So yeah,
I've,
I know exactly what he's going through.
I've actually
I don't envy him at all.
I've actually walked, humped over a little bit before because of that, but nothing like he's talking about. But
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine, dude, just because that hurt me. But,
Oh, it's terrible.
I couldn't
It
imagine.
is. It's absolutely terrible. I
And
mean,
I'm sure he's probably getting some kind of shots and everything else to try to get him through all this. But
man, you got to be careful with those though.
you
You
do,
do. You
yeah.
have to be careful with those. I had one go bad. Ugh.
That's not good.
Yeah, no, it wasn't good. Long story short, it wasn't good. All right, my next one, staying over at Blabbermouth. I will say this right now. This one isn't news per se, but it's someone that we've talked to before and something we've talked about before. So I'm going to go through this as quickly as I can. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but in a new interview with Anthony Bryant of the hair metal guru, Jason McMaster of Texas rockers Dangerous Toys, who has achieved a short but sweet burst of success in the midst of the late 80s glam metal boom, spoke about how the rise of grunge in the early 1990s forced most hard
Mhm.
rock bands off the radio and MTV, with album and tour sales plummeting. He said, as transcribed by Blabbermouth.net, quote, I was kind of living in my own bubble, and if someone says that grunge killed hair metal, I throw up in my mouth every time I say hair metal, but I'm trying to be crystal clear. I think that that's wrong. I think that hair metal killed hair metal.
Mhm.
Too many bands got signed, and there were too many terrible bands that got signed. And if you think that Dangerous Toys is one of those terrible bands, I'm open to that. I'm cool with you thinking that. But it was ridiculous as to how far it got taken with the whole look and the whole feel of everything. I feel like it didn't have any balls anymore, and it was supposed to have some balls. Me and all the Toys guys really respected a lot of the bands that were sort of not at war against Hairspray or whatever. It was more like they felt real to me, and those are bands like Junkyard. Go figure.
Mhm.
Rhino Bucket, Raging Slab, and Circus of Power, and there's a shit ton of them. There's a bunch of that sort of movement that had more of a punk, dirty, alley cat style of whatever, just rock and roll. It was coming more from maybe a Southern rock attitude or an early AC/DC attitude where it wasn't about hair. I mean, I know people that call AC/DC a hair metal band. I know that Twisted Sister's D. Snyder doesn't like the term hair metal because it doesn't really play into what they were kind of about,
Mhm.
because they were kind of a street rock band. And anyway, I think that Dirty Looks was one of those bands as well. And like I said, I could keep going. There's a stack of them that really didn't play into, and I won't mention, just whatever you think is hair metal might be quite different than what I think is hair metal.
Mhm.
He also said, so I think hair metal killed hair metal. I think grunge was about to happen anyway. For those of you who might not know, Soundgarden and Nirvana, I'll just stick with them. They were touring their first records in like 87. So I don't
Mhm.
know. It just took a minute for those bands to break, just like it took a minute for Guns N' Roses to have commercial success. Guns didn't break right away, and that record, Appetite for Destruction, was out for a year and a half before it really had any numbers to speak of. It's interesting how music kind of has to sort of warm up and people have to discover it in the underground before someone can really make it stick. And that's usually radio, and back then MTV. Now it's content.
Yeah.
So like I say, that wasn't anything, I don't think it's anything earth shattering, because you and we've discussed that very thing on the show
Mhm.
before. And the only reason why I read it again was one, because of that. And two, Jason sat down and talked with us at the first Rock
Yep.
and Pod Expo. So that was cool that he did that. He's super duper sharp, that
Yeah.
guy.
He's a cool guy, man. I
He
like
really know he yeah. Well, he was super nice to us, because not only did he come by for the interview that was scheduled, but we talked with him a little bit after the show about kind of gave us some pointers and tips about what we should do with this,
gave us some
and he didn't
advice.
have
Yeah.
to do that.
No,
Yeah,
he
so he
didn't.
didn't have to do that. So he was super nice to do
What
that.
was,
But I mean,
what was fun?
he's
What was funny is I told him the story about what was going on at that time, and then I said, "This is what I think we should do." And he said, "You hadn't done it yet."
yeah,
I was like, "Okay, yeah, that's on me. Sorry."
yeah.
Yeah, so, but,
But so
but yeah,
yeah, but
he's a cool dude. Like, and that interview is on Spotify if anybody wants
it
to check
is.
that out. So
It
it's not
is.
it's a short one, so I think it was like
Yeah.
20-30 minutes or something. So
Yeah.
uh, but yeah, very cool dude.
Well. All of the Rockin' Pod interviews were. I mean, some we got lucky and some were
Oh
longer than
yeah,
others. But yeah,
yeah.
but yeah. So like I said, that wasn't like earth shattering news, but
Mhm.
it just goes to show that we weren't when we were talking about it, we weren't really blowing smoke. There's been kind of a prevailing kind of sentiment that keeps kind of growing, leaning that way.
Well, I think even Bob Chiappardi, which I got to reach out to him again too. Bob Chiappardi even
Oh
mentioned,
yeah, that would
yeah,
be good.
he even mentioned something about that is how back then, that's why he was on, he was back in bands like Pantera and Megadeth and playing bands like that because he thought they were different. He said, there were so many bands at that time that would come out and they were just the same band, with different guys in it, and I
Yeah,
think that's kind of where everybody was like, oh, we just got to find a good voice to make a ballad and get all the girls' panties wet. I mean, then we're good to go. So I mean, that was kind of the concept of making music in the 80s, especially around the so-called
yeah,
hair
that
metal
is
era.
true.
Everybody that came
That's
out
true.
in that time had a ballad. Some multiple ones most of the time. I mean, even bands that we love like Skid Row and those bands had multiple ballads, which still hold up today, obviously, but because
Yeah, they do.
they were one of
They
the
do.
bands that kind of stood out, you know, from
Yeah,
the herd, and Dangerous Toys was the same
yeah,
way. I always thought Dangerous Toys. I never considered them a hair metal band because I didn't think they were hair metal because I mean, the hair metal phase was more glam to me, not really hair
right.
metal. I think it was just more glam metal, and
Yeah,
Dangerous Toys was far from glam metal. So, so
yeah,
uh, and like I said, you
yeah,
had bands, like Skid Row and stuff that they kind of stood out from the everybody else because they were different, different
yeah.
sound and a little bit heavier than most of those other bands, and
And well, and also back then, I mean, there weren't a lot of guys left around at that time that could sing like Sebastian Bach could at the
oh hell
time
no,
either. Yeah, even Sebastian Bach doesn't sound like Sebastian Bach anymore. I mean,
no, but
I
still,
mean, not really. Of course, I mean, he's old. I mean, that happens. I
yeah,
mean, that
it does.
happens. I mean, your vocal cords don't do the same as
Mhm.
they get older. So I mean, so I mean, you kind of have to, make some changes. But that's the funny thing is glam, even even if Jason McMaster doesn't really think Dangerous Toys was hair metal, that's fine. But I still am kind of like you, what you said. Glam and hair metal are two totally different things
Mhm.
because glam was Poison
Mhm.
and Motley Crue
Yeah.
to a lesser extent than Poison, but Poison was full on
Oh yeah.
hairspray, makeup, everything. They were hell. Pantera started out as a glam metal band. We've
That's
talked
true.
about that
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
Pantera was glam. Poison was glam. The fucked up thing is like all these hair metal bands, it's just because everybody back then had long hair.
Yeah.
Everybody back then
Yeah.
had long hair.
Yeah.
So hair metal and glam metal are two totally different things
Mhm.
because of the look. Everyone had
That's
long hair. Everyone had long hair. If you were in a metal band, you had long hair.
it.
Everybody did.
And one of
There were almost no exceptions. Rob Halford was probably the only exception.
the yeah, one of the bands too that stick out to me during that time was Cinderella. Cinderella was to me like they were labeled in that, but they were more of a blues rock band to me than they were metal. Period.
But they still but I mean they still had their glam elements. I mean,
Well,
Tom
yeah,
Kenker still had the big. I mean, just watch the fucking video for Nobody's Fool.
yeah, big
You know
ass
what I'm
hair.
saying? Oh yeah, I think he even had lipstick on in that
Yeah,
video.
probably. And of course, you had Warrant come along behind Poison, and
Yep.
to me, like another band that kind of didn't fit in with glam metal, but could be hair metal was Slaughter. I mean, I don't
Mm-hmm.
think Slaughter was really glammed up,
No, Slaughter would have been
but
more
they,
hair metal and
yeah,
not
but they
glam
were
metal.
more hair. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, like I said, I think that's just to me now, if you think about it, a look's a look, and if it's metal, it's metal. You know, it's like who cares if it's
Yeah.
if it's death, if it's metalcore, if it's deathcore,
Mm-hmm.
or if it's just extreme or whatever it is. And matter of fact, I got a description of my album review today is going to blow your mind because I've never heard of this one before. So
Oh
just
boy.
stay
Okay.
tuned. Yeah, stay tuned for that one.
Okay. All
So
right.
anyway, where were we here?
Well, it's
Uh,
your turn.
oh, it's my turn. Okay,
Yeah, it's your turn. Yeah.
yeah, this is my last story over from. Wait for it. Metal injection.
There you go.
Oh man! So this one was pretty interesting. I wasn't going to include this one. I was going to put it in a headline until I read it, and I was like, no man, I got to read this. This is pretty heartbreaking. So, I laugh at that, but it's definitely not nothing to laugh about. It's pretty fucked up. But especially if you're a guitar, enthusiast and stuff like that, man. So, but anyway, January of 2025, devastating wildfires tore through California, destroying thousands of homes and forcing mass evacuations across the state. Fanned by unusually high winter temperatures, prolonged drought conditions, and fierce Santa Ana winds, the blazes became some of the most destructive early year wildfires in California history. Communities from Southern California up through wine country were ravaged, tens of thousands displaced, and billions of dollars in property losses reported. Among the countless individuals affected was Promise's guitarist Larry Lalonde, whose home and nearly all of his prized musical gear was reduced to ashes. In a
Damn it.
candid conversation with Guitar World, Lalonde reviewed the scale of his loss. Quote, that's been one of the craziest components. Haven't gotten a full count yet. The last I looked, I was up to like 58 guitars. So yeah, tons. My whole studio of recording stuff. And here's the dumbest thing I've ever done in my life. I had a hard drive, a 12 gig hard drive, just sitting around on the desk. It was just for these situations, and I probably ran past it 20 times while pulling stuff out of the house and into the car. I never thought to grab the hard drive. It was the dumbest thing in the world. I don't know where the mental block came from because that's what it was. That's what it was for. So that's kind of a bummer. But yeah, that's the craziest thing. The loss included an extensive collection of guitars built up over decades. Much of it is irreplaceable. Thankfully, the guitar community routed to help. Paul Reed Smith personally reached out to Lalonde, sending him two amazing PRS guitars after learning that one of his PRS's guitars survived the fire. When asked about the most sentimental items he lost, Solande pointed to one guitar in particular. There's one Strat that I had on all the first Primus records, like on Selling the Sea of Cheese. That's the guitar I'm holding in that picture. Excuse me. I had that guitar since high school, and that was one that was in the fire. Still, Lalonde did manage to save a few precious items before fleeing the flames, including a unique double neck guitar gifted to him by Rush legend Alex Lifeson.
Oh,
The
nice.
first thing that I grabbed when the first thing that I grabbed when I was like, "We've got to get the hell out of here," was the double neck that Alex Lifeson gave me. So there's some stuff that made it out of the house, but a lot didn't. But one thing that comes to mind that didn't was that Strat, which I used up until I started playing the PRS. For Lalonde, the tragedy is deeply personal, but it's also part of a much larger disaster that affected countless Californians. The January 2025 wildfires were a sobering reminder that even in the middle of winter, California's wildfire season can strike with little warning and leave devastation in its wake.
Yep.
So pretty, not going to get political with this because I know there's some political aspects going into that. Mainly, people in the area was saying that it was done purposely to get their land cheap, to buy up their land or whatever, which, maybe not. I don't know. I'm not living in California, so I honestly don't follow their their politics that much. Which I do know their governor's you know
A piece of shit.
a piece of shit. So, he's not very good. I don't know how he's still there, honestly, but hopefully they'll get everything situated over there and get I can't say get back to normal because I think once you lose you lose that you lost a house that you were happy with you lost it was furnished the way you wanted it blah 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 then it burns the fuck up then you got to like start over, you know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
it's man, it's like I think about moving is horrible, but man, having to replace everything, like I couldn't replace
Right.
everything. Yeah, I couldn't replace everything in here right now. There's no fucking way, dude. I got
Right.
stuff. I got stuff in here that you know, um, we do show and tell on here. You've seen some of the stuff I
Oh
have in
yeah.
here. I probably couldn't get any of that anymore because if anybody knows anything about pops, once they make those, they're done. They don't do them again. I mean,
Yeah.
they make so many, and then once they're sold, they're sold. So
Right.
you know, to go back and try to get some of the stuff that I have is like, yeah, I mean, I got a Ricky Rackman's 1 Foot in the Gutter tour poster signed by Ricky Rackman. I mean, I probably could never get, maybe I could. I mean, if I hit him up and said, "Hey, man, my shit burnt. Could you give me another one?" He probably would because that's just kind of guy Ricky is.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm just saying, there's a lot of stuff in here I would never be able to replace. I mean,
Right.
not just in here. I mean, I got wrestling stuff. I've got all kind
Oh,
of
I've
stuff
seen I've seen all your
downstairs.
I've seen all your collectibles. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Absolutely.
it's definitely that's kind of I guess that's my retirement. That's what I tell Susan. That's my retirement because when I get bad and now I'll just sell it all.
Yeah.
But but yeah, it's just stuff that from from childhoods or from vacations. Like I got a poster from a record shop in Arkansas sitting on the wall. But I mean I don't. Who knows? I mean, that place could go out of business, and then I could never get that again. You know
Yep.
what I mean? It's kind
Yeah.
of.
100% true.
I don't think you think about things like that until you read something like this, and it's kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
man, if that happened to me, I'd be fucked because there ain't no,
Yeah.
ain't no way I could replace any of this stuff. So,
I mean,
but
not easily or cheaply, that's for sure.
no, and I hate, like I said, we've dealt with that in our state from Gatlinburg, so we kind of can, they can relate it. We can't because we didn't have it happen here, but we could, at the time that happened, what's Gatlinburg? 4 hours away.
At most, yeah.
Yeah, so we could see the smoke in Franklin.
Mm-hmm.
So you could see the smoke that far, 4 hours away.
Yeah.
From it burning. That's ridiculous, man. That's
Yeah, it is.
and I'm guessing people that were in California, you could probably see it in another state at that point because
More than likely.
where all that was hitting. So
Yeah. You could probably see it on western edge in the valley.
Oh yeah,
You could probably see it. Yeah, you probably could.
You got any more stories?
I've got one more. Yeah, I've got one more. But it's not super long.
Yeah, go ahead.
But it's over at Blabbermouth, of course. A new 1-hour film about the last chapter of Ozzy Osbourne's life will air later this month on BBC in the UK on Saturday. No, I read all that. Set to air on August 18th on BBC One and iPlayer at 9 p.m. UK time. Ozzy Osbourne Coming Home is the moving and inspirational account of the last chapter of Ozzy's life, told through unique and intimate access to the whole Osbourne family, including Sharon, Jack, and Kelly. Filmed over 3 years, it captures the extraordinary roller coaster of their lives as Sharon and Ozzy attempt to complete their long-held dream of moving back to the UK. Ozzy heroically battles to get fit enough to perform, and the family deal with the dramatic consequences of his ill health. The film is full of love, laughter, and tears, and the kind of unforgettable family moments that we've come to expect from the Osbournes. It's a remarkably candid and uplifting tribute to one of the world's true icons and documents the first family of rock as they are forced to accept that, as Kelly says in the film, Iron Man wasn't really made of iron. So, like I say, super duper short. But probably could have been a headline. But if Ozzy wouldn't have passed away, we probably would have just said it as a headline.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
And the funny thing is I mean, the two details in the article that do get me, it took them 3 years to film it, and they only knocked it down. They condensed it into 1 hour. I guarantee you they could have made it 2 hours easy. I guarantee you they could have made it 2 hours easy, and probably should have. They probably should have.
Yeah, well, I know like they're still talking about doing the Back to the Beginning in theaters next year.
Oh, I'm going to see that.
Oh yeah, I am too.
I'm going to see that. I will absolutely go to see that.
That's going to be so cool. to see
Yeah,
that.
no, I will pay to see it without question.
All right.
But that was my last one.
All right. Other headlines: Metallica, Korn, Judas Priest, and more named to Madden NFL 26 soundtrack. If you hadn't checked that out, it's actually pretty good soundtrack, man. It's
Yeah,
definitely got a lot more rock bands than I thought would be in there. So, uh,
right.
and then Go Giros, Go Giro, Go Giros. Yeah, Go Giro. Eat your Go Giros, son. Hey, there you go. Go Giro needs to have Go Giro cereal. There you go.
Oh man, there you go.
You heard it here first.
That's right.
2%. That's all I need, man.
But I'll
Go,
settle out of court right now for $20.
that's right. $20 is $20. Gojira's Mario Duplantier says that the new album is almost done and will have a more metal sound.
I saw that. Oh man.
More metal?
Oh man.
Why you get more metal than the?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll take it. I'll take more metal.
Yeah,
I'll absolutely take it. But
I mean, like I said, if you've been to a Gojira show, you know exactly what I'm saying. It's like,
oh yeah.
how can you get more metal than this? It's like, Jesus Christ, dude.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
Gojira,
it's already they're already a band where I watched them outdoors, and they're the only ones I had to put in earplugs to listen to. They're fucking loud, dude. Like they shot out half of the system when I seen them in Arizona. Like the right half of the system went out during their set. They blew it out. I was just like, holy shit. So
Not surprised at all.
and like I couldn't tell. Like the left side was working. It sounded fine to me,
Yeah.
but they were just talking about, yeah, sorry about the difficulty. I think we blew the right side. I'm like, what the fuck you mean? I was like, so it's louder than this? I'm like, holy shit, dude. Like, they're one of the loudest bands I've seen, dude. And I've been to a lot of shows. So anyway, moving on. Dragon Force's Mark Hudson makes his voice acting debut in a hit anime, Dan Da Dan. Pretty cool. Of course, being probably Japanese descent, I would imagine. So,
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think.
yeah, I don't know. I know some of the band is. So, Trivium announced Strut Dead EP releases a kick-ass track, "Bury Me with My Screams."
Did you listen to it yet?
Oh yeah, it's in the playlist.
Oh, so good. Yeah. Oh, so good.
Yeah. So can't wait for that. That's probably going to be a top EP. So I mean,
more than likely.
I mean, if you know anything about Trivium, they're probably going to be in the mix for sure. So, then this was kind of interesting to me. Black Sabbath, Motley Crue, and Ghost singles are coming to a tiny 4-inch vinyl. So imagine 4 inches of a vinyl. I don't know. It's kind of that's smaller than a compact disc, isn't it?
Probably. Yeah. I mean,
that's crazy.
I mean, maybe.
Maybe.
Hang on.
It's still small to be,
Believe it or not, I have a tape measure right here.
Oh, okay.
Believe it or not. Yeah, 4 inches.
Wow. So it's like a cup top. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, 4 inches right here. Yeah.
That's crazy, dude. So that lets you know how technology is, though, that you get a single on that,
Yep.
Because back in the day, when we grew up, it was, singles were on 45s. So, man, that's wild.
Yeah.
Anyway, Lars Ulrich hints at Metallica playing the Sphere and maybe a Super Bowl performance, which I'll believe that when I see it.
Yeah, me too.
You can hint all you want, dude. I ain't buying that shit. So.
Well, the funny thing is about the show at the Sphere, supposedly they're negotiating a residency there.
Yeah. So that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Hell, would that be the first metal band to do that?
At that venue, I believe so. Yes.
Yeah, that would be. I think crazy.
So.
So we talked about Mayhem earlier. They're currently recording their first new album since 2019. We talked about that band a little while ago.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had Eric Van Lerberg on a new era of I Prevail. We're focusing on big choruses and crushing breakdowns.
Crushing breakdowns from I Prevail. Get out of here.
I know, right? Like, and we talked about how different, they sound since what's his name had left. So,
yeah.
Then Metallica to play 250-person club next week in celebration of their new Maximum Metallica radio show, and that is a win-only concert
Yeah.
show, so you can only win the ticket to get in. So,
And that is actually another headline that Maximum Metallica channel is coming back to Sirius XM.
there
So.
you go. Yeah. I'm going to save this next one for last, mainly because I think it's something we need to talk about a little bit. So,
Okay.
I'll save it for the last one. So,
Okay.
next up, Birmingham's Ozzy Osbourne Museum will stay open for all of 2025.
Oh, that's
no,
cool.
No
That's
surprise. No surprise since you know what happened. So,
right. Oh, man, I would love to be able to go see. I would
that would be
love
cool.
to be able to go see that. Man.
Michael Schenker releases the first song with new singer Eric Gronwall. Eric Gronwall
Oh,
and
okay.
Schenker in a group. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool. Wonder what Rudolph thinks about that. I'm just kidding. We don't.
I have an idea of what he's
have an idea.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. I mean, those guys are getting old. They need to bury that shit, man.
They do. They do.
So this one's pretty cool, mainly because me and Chris probably grew up in a generation and watched this. The decline of Western Civilization Part 2, The Metal Years, is now free to watch on YouTube.
Get out of here. So, holy shit, yeah.
Definitely check that out. It's awesome. Freaking. I used to have the VHS, actually. So
yeah.
Pretty cool. Brooklyn Mirage owner Avant Gardner files for bankruptcy. Great Hall and Kings Hall will remain operational, so it looks like Brooklyn's going to lose some venue, at least one venue. So hopefully not the other two. But
well, that sucks because St. Vitus Bar it closed too. So
yeah, it's crazy, man. Seeing all these places closed down, man.
Yeah.
Slaughter to Prevail vocalist Alex Terrible's Mass Factory in Russia partially collapses.
Yeah.
You seen any of that or not? But that's
I did.
Okay. I wonder. It's not from any of the war types things going on over there.
I don't think so.
Okay, no, it just happened to collapse. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I think you posted this one. Green Jelly fires longtime collaborator over awful AI generated Ozzy Osbourne meme.
Yep. Yeah, I did. I posted that. Fuck that
good riddance.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Will Carroll, Death Angel should be a hell of a lot bigger than they are now, which I don't think you're going to hear any argument on this side of the fence for sure. So, I mean, they're one of the most underrated thrash bands, I think.
Yeah. I think I may have pissed Will Carroll off with my Nefarious review.
Oh, really?
Maybe. It definitely wasn't my intention because I liked the album. I thought it was fantastic, but I don't think, I'm not 100% sure he liked my review.
Well, he'll be all right. Sanguisabog claimed that they were told to leave or the venue manager would shoot them when they were in Memphis, Tennessee. I was like, no, you wouldn't get shot in Memphis, surely. Oh, man. That's
funny. Hard. Well, the funny thing is that's a crime. I mean, you know.
Well, yeah, you're threatening to shoot somebody.
Yeah, that's definitely.
That's almost with intent. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a crime.
And then, last but not least, the U.S. State Department proposes up to a $15,000 visa bond for visitors from certain countries, bands and musicians included. Which, this right here was one that we usually don't like to mix, politics and music, but when it's affecting the music, then we have to kind of talk about it, Yeah. But this is bullshit. I'm just going to go on and say it. I mean,
it is bullshit.
You're keeping someone. So okay. So first off, you got to post it, and then if you get through, you don't cause any trouble, whatever, they'll give it to you on the way back out. Well, that's still bullshit because I mean most bands don't have that to put up. You know what I mean? That's why they're torn up here. They're torn over here to make money. It's like, but just like we went through with Angelus Apatrida and Hidden Intent and them talking about that, with that show we went to, it was poorly promoted. So man, they probably didn't make $15,000. So I mean, they probably did. They probably did.
I'm sure they did, but I mean,
I'm just saying.
But I mean, I think it's still a valid point. I mean, as far as I know, Angelus Apatrida had never been in the States before. We do know that Hidden Intent had been once because we were
Right.
talking to them after the
Yeah.
show, and it wasn't their first time here. But when we talked to him, I think I'm wanting to say that Phil was telling us that it had been 5 years between trips,
Something
something
like
like that.
that.
Yeah. So I mean, of course, Australia is a long way from pretty much everywhere.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
it does take some time to save up the funds to travel from there, I'm sure. But I mean, when you're making a band like Hidden Intent, or and to a slightly lesser extent Angelus Apatrida, when you're making a band like that start in a five figure hole,
Yeah.
it's not fair. I mean,
It's not.
especially when especially when and I full full disclosure, I see the logic behind it. I know what they're going for, but they're
Mhm.
flexing on the wrong people is what they're
Exactly.
doing. They're
Exactly.
flexing on the wrong people.
Well, this is my thing too. If obviously you got a record of them being in the United States before. So if
Yeah.
you've got that record saying, "Oh, they've been here before, they performed, they left," they're exempt. You know what I mean? So
Well, here's the
that's the way it should be.
well, and here's another thing. If it's a band who can prove they're on the up and up, that they're
Mhm.
just here to tour, they're going to be here from X to Y, and then they're going to fuck off and go back home.
Mhm.
Okay. If they show up here and they leave here and there's no problems in between, then they should be able to show up. I mean, if they have their visa, that's fine. Get your
Yeah.
visa like you're supposed to, like you're supposed to have done the whole time. If you've got all that paperwork and you're here from A to B and you do your thing and you go home, no harm, no foul, fine. If they go through and they get all the paperwork done and all this good shit and they've got everything in order, why they're going to be here. Okay.
Exactly.
So here's the thing. If December, let's just say I'm here from November 1st to December 1st. If the last day of the tour is December 1st and they're not back home by December 5th, then maybe a phone call's in order. What's going
Right.
on?
Yeah.
Why are you still here?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So, but yeah, they're flexing on the wrong people.
Yeah. Which
They're absolutely do. They
they
absolutely
said
are.
that they bands were included. So I mean, I don't think they're targeted, but I think they're just including everybody. Because I guess they're looking at it as a sense of where, well, if we let them get away with it, then who else is going to say, oh, well, why they get away and I can't, or so
Well,
I mean, I get it to an extent, but then again, I mean, that's a man, 15,000 is a little harsh. I think
yeah, yeah,
it's like man, you know.
yeah. Well, I
I
mean,
guess
I
they.
mean,
I mean, where'd they come up with that number? Like,
right. I mean, why not? Why not five? Why not $5,000? Why
yeah,
not five?
yeah. I mean, 5 grand's a
Yeah,
lot of money. Ain't nobody gonna, just let you have 5 grand just to fuck around over here. I mean,
right. So I mean,
they're gonna want that back. So I mean,
yeah. So why not five?
and then again, I gotta think about it. Is that going to be 15,000 per person in the band?
I think it's probably just for the band.
I mean, that would, I guess if
I think it.
I guess the band could scrape together and come up with that kind
I
of,
think it's probably just for the band, but still a 5 piece, that's 3K a piece.
yeah. So I mean,
So I mean, it's still not nothing. I mean, Angelus Apatrida,
exactly.
they're a 4 piece, so that's $4,500 a piece.
Hmm.
No, 4250 a piece. Sorry. But still, well, no, wait, what is that? 3750? I don't know. It's still, I mean,
Real high.
it's still, yeah. So yeah, it's a lot, So yeah, it's not. I and like I say, I know that like I say, we're not gonna cannonball 2 feet into this.
Right.
I know what the country is trying to do right now as far as immigration is concerned. So I know what they're going for. And I don't disagree. But like I say, when you have a band who is more than likely going through their management or their label or whoever to get all the paperwork done to make sure that everyone's cool on the up and up to come into the country, like I say, you know what they're here for and you know how long they're going to be here. So you give them a little bit of, you give them, like I say, you give them a few days after the tour is scheduled to be over, you give them a few days, and then you either get in contact with the band or their management or whoever and be like, okay, why aren't you home? And but if the tour ends and a couple days later you find out that everyone's back in their home country, boom, thanks for coming. We'll see you next time.
Yeah,
That's really all it needs to be. That's
yeah,
all it needs to be. You did the vetting process when the band applied for their visa.
yeah.
That's all the vetting process you should need, especially if it's a signed band. I can
Hmm.
kind of understand maybe an unsigned band having to go through maybe a little bit more vetting, jumping through maybe one or two more hoops. But if it's somebody that's signed, you're going to deal with the band's management anyway.
Yep. Yeah. All right. So I guess we will end the other headlines right there.
That's
So
probably
before we're 1 o'clock talking about this stuff. So,
yeah.
anyway, going into hitting the road, I only have one announcement to make on that,
Okay.
and it's that kind of just it is an announcement to an upcoming festival. So I wanted to make sure I got that out
Nice.
there. And
Cool.
people heading to Louder Than Life this year are going to see and experience some of the major upgrades taking place at the Highland Festival grounds at Kentucky Exposition Center. And it's
Yep.
all thanks to a multi-year agreement between Danny Wimmer and Kentucky Venues that will change the face of the festivals forever. Starting this September, when both Louder Than Life, September 18th to the 21st, and its sister event, Bourbon and Beyond, September 11th to the 14th, take place, a number of massive expansions on the festival site will make attending each event way more comfortable for everyone. With each enhancement, people should be able to move more comfortably, enjoy more shaded areas, and experience the myriad of exciting performances that will be happening over the course of these 4-day events. Some of the key upgrades that people can expect this year include a much larger layout, so areas between each stage is less cramped, more three shaded areas to avoid direct sunlight, a literal amusement park on the festival grounds, and an additional main entrance to make getting in and out of the festival grounds a breeze. For Danny Wimmer, owner and organization of DWP, the changes made represent a larger commitment to Louisville's cultural and economic future. Quote, this move has been years in the making, and we're thrilled to finally bring it to life with Bourbon and Beyond and Louder Than Life, both growing year over year. We knew it was time for more space, more comfort, and more ways to elevate the fan experience just beyond the music. I'm ecstatic because this is just the beginning of something truly special for our festivals in Louisville, end quote. This year's Louder Than Life promises more than 160 bands across 7 stages, making it one of the largest festivals in North America. This year's Shindig will feature the return of Slayer, Rob Zombie, and Marilyn Manson, while more up-and-coming bands play on the smaller stages. DWP is rolling out site-wide enhancements to make festival goers' weekends a lot smoother, more comfortable, and easier to keep cool. An immersive merch experience inside the climate-controlled Kentucky Expo Center, featuring festival gear, additional activations, and lounge seating, more tree-shaded areas throughout the grounds to beat the heat, expanded turf zones at the main stages and general admission areas, a more spacious layout designed to let fans stretch out, sway easy, and savor every moment between sets, an added main entrance to help ease the flow and get fans in the gates quicker. Bourbon and Beyond will be more than doubling its general admission lawn chair pass capacity and releasing more for purchase. Current pass holders will have first access starting tomorrow. Of course, that was August 7th, so it's already passed. Before
Mm-hmm.
any remaining are released to the public on Friday, which was yesterday.
Yep.
All festival passes now include free access to amusement rides inside Kentucky Kingdom from 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. daily, closed to the public during the festivals, so only the festival goers can go. That's pretty wild.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that's pretty wild, dude. Attractions include the giant Ferris wheel with extended hours, lightning run, roller coaster, Scream Extreme, and Skycatcher for a total of 18 fan favorites. Extra shaded areas, picnic spots, and restrooms. Select concessions, shopping, and air conditioned indoor dining. The Kentucky Kingdom Water Park will not be open, accessible to festival patrons or the public during this time. So the water park is going to be closed altogether. But
Oh,
usually they close after Labor Day anyway. So
yeah, they do. You're talking about mid to late September,
yeah,
so
so I mean,
that's not a surprise.
but it's kind of funny. You talk about how hot it is and the water park getting open. Somebody needs to talk about that. So I mean,
Well, I mean, here's the funny thing: is one thing that really stuck out to me that they're rolling this thing out this year. But what did they say? This was years in the making.
oh yeah,
So they didn't rush anything.
nope,
They and DWP doesn't fuck around. I haven't even been to one of their festivals yet, but they don't fuck around.
Oh yeah, it's very well organized. Even,
Yeah.
even before all this, it was well organized. I mean,
So I mean, I'm super excited. I mean, we're only going for the one day, but I'm super excited.
oh yeah.
I'm super excited.
So the VIP just got an upgrade as well. Mint VIP is now 35% larger than ever before, with an expanded layout designed for extra comfort. Brand new 3-story shaded viewing platform, offering an elevated view of both main stages, replacing former outdoor patios.
Wow.
That's pretty cool. Added large shade structure for additional coverage throughout VIP areas, transportation and festival entry improvements. Festival site will be able to better utilize the infrastructure in place on the festival grounds, including roadways and parkways, roadways and parking, as they were originally designed. A second festival entrance will be added this year. Oh, that's awesome.
That
Uh,
is good.
Dedicated rideshare taxi area. Shuttles will vastly be improved. More details on the specific traffic and parking plan will be provided in the coming weeks.
That's
I need
good.
I need to be on the lookout for that because I probably need to buy a parking pass. But
Yeah. Well, I mean, I did get the email that said that they're going to be emailing out the wristbands relatively soon, so
yeah,
they
yeah,
should
yeah,
they should be in the mail relatively
yeah,
shortly.
yeah. I remember getting all that. So,
Yeah. So,
but that's all that I have for hitting the road. So
all right.
I'm sure you got plenty to add to that. So
Well, the funny thing is I just kept it to this week
yeah,
because I had actually I had one started, of course, before we had to kind of, about face and get ready for Degenerate,
yep.
but I didn't fill in the gaps because you're talking about damn near a month, and I would have been here for an hour reading all that shit.
Oh
So I
yeah.
mean, at this point, I just kept it to the week, and believe it or not, it's actually pretty light. So we'll
Okay,
get through
cool.
this relatively quickly. So for the week of the August 2nd through the 8th, start at the over at the PRP. There's a couple of bands who are going to be pretty busy, and Hailstorm's going to be one of them. Hailstorm, Lindsey Sterling, and Apocalyptica are going on a North American tour starting September 11th in Salem, Virginia at the Salem Civic Center, finishing October 11th in Spokane, Washington at the Spokane Arena. Then they will be going to Europe with Bloody Wood starting October 22nd in Wiesbaden, Germany at Schlachthof, finishing November 18th in Amsterdam, Netherlands at AFOS Live. The Cro-Mags are going on a fall tour. No word about openers yet. Starting September 12th in Winnipeg, Manitoba at the SOS Fest. Finishing September 27th in Brooklyn, New York at the CBGB Fest. Many Eyes are going on a fall headlining tour of their own. No word yet on the openers. Starting September 25th in Albany, New York at Empire Underground. Finishing October 12th in Buffalo, New York at Electric City. Shai Hulud is going on a U.S. tour. It's going to have two separate legs. The first leg with Denial of Life as the opener, starting November 5th in Fort Collins, Colorado at the Aggie Theater, finishing November 15th in Garden Grove, California at Garden Amp. Then with Holder opening the second leg, starting December 11th in Brooklyn, New York at the Meadows, finishing December. Did I say November 11th? December 11th in Brooklyn, New York at the Meadows, finishing December 21st in Long Island, New York at the Amityville Music Hall featuring This Is Hell. CKY has announced a trio of Australian dates for next January. January 23rd in Melbourne at Max Watts, the 24th in Sydney at Crowbar, and the 25th in Brisbane at Crowbar. Then Silly Goose has got a couple of different things lined up. Silly Goose, Landmarks, Novelists, and Resolve are going on a North American tour. So, I mean, the singer should definitely be able to go to that. Starting September 14th in Montreal, Quebec at M. Telus, finishing October 12th in Toronto, Ontario at Opera House. They will be in Nashville on October 10th at the Basement East. Then the UK dates that hopefully he'll have his criminal record expunged by then. Silly Goose, Hot Milk, and Cassiette are going on it's short, but they're going to a quad, what do you call it? A quartet. Yeah, there you go. A quartet of dates in the UK. November 11th in Glasgow at SWG3 Galvanizers. November 19th in London at Roundhouse. November 20th in Birmingham at the O2 Institute. And November 22nd in Manchester at the O2 Victoria Warehouse.
So he still would be able to go to the Canadian.
I think so.
Okay.
I think he
Well,
can.
I know you need a passport to go into
Yeah, so I mean,
the
he's gonna.
country, so
I mean,
it's kind of
he'll have his passport, but I don't think a criminal trespass will keep him out of Canada. But I'm not sure.
okay.
Going overseas might be different, but if they
Well,
get that
yeah,
shit,
for sure.
if they're able to expunge it between now and then, yeah, all bets are off, and it won't matter. Like Moths to Flames, Kingdom of Giants, Acres, and Heaven's Gate are going on a North American tour this fall, starting October 24th in Cincinnati, Ohio at Bogarts, finishing November 30th in Detroit, Michigan at St. Andrews Hall. Then the other band that's going to be busy coming up later this year is Dying Wish. They're going out with Poppy and MS Paint starting September 12th in Cincinnati, Ohio at Bogarts, finishing October 6th in Dallas, Texas at the House of Blues. Then they're going out with Malevolence, Speed, and Psycho Frame to Europe and to the UK starting October 27th in Toulouse, France at Les Bikini, which is French for the bikini,
Mhm.
finishing finishing November 9th in London, England at the Brixton Academy. Then they will be back over here with Static Dress, Gouge Away, Orthodox, and Bolt Cutter this fall, starting November 14th in Nashville at the East Side Bowl. Cool little venue.
Mhm.
Finishing December 12th in Portland, Oregon at the Roseland Theater for their Dying Wishmas Christmas show. So that'll be fun. Then Hollywood Undead has a very, very short tour coming up with Attila Point North 0936 and Autumn Kings appearing at select dates on varying lineups. Starting September 20th in Memphis, Tennessee at Graceland, if they don't get shot first. Finishing September 30th in Portland, Oregon at the Roseland Theater. Then Dying Fetus and 200 Stab Wounds are going to Australia and New Zealand, starting December 5th in Auckland, New Zealand at Galatos, finishing did I say November again? December 5th in Auckland, New Zealand at Galatos, finishing December 14th in Brisbane, Australia at the Triffid. Then Oceano has announced some farewell dates in Australia because they are just about to wrap up their whole career. They're calling it a career. Uh, October 15th in Brisbane, Australia at Brightside. God damn it. October 15th in Brisbane at Brightside, October 16th in Sydney at Crowbar, October 17th in Adelaide at Lion Arts, and October 18th in Melbourne at Corner. Then Wage War and Sleep Theory have announced a couple of off-date shows from their Falling in Reverse tour. August 13th in Austin, Texas at Empire Garage, and August 26th in Silver Spring, Maryland at the Fillmore. And lastly, Saliva, Earshot, The Founder, and Liluk, Lylvc. These bands that want to use a V in the place of another letter are getting on my nerves. I don't know how the hell to pronounce it. Lilac? I don't know. Lilac? I don't know. They're going on a U.S. tour starting August 29th in Pryor, Oklahoma at Rocklahoma. That's going to be Saliva only, making a festival appearance. Finishing October 16th in Austin, Texas at Come and Take It Live. So that's hitting the
Yeah.
road for the 2nd through the 8th.
All right, sounds good.
Yep.
All right, and this is our next is our theme of the week that we've been sitting on for a few
Almost a
weeks.
month. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was we went with blessing and curse. I got the blessing side of things, so
Oh,
a lot
no.
of I had a lot of play on words with mine because it was
Okay.
man, my
Well, we have a problem
why is that?
because,
You do blessing?
no, because when I brought up blessing and curse, uh, I'm going to look, and I'm going to look for it in our, I'm going to look for it in our, I'm already going back and looking for it. Because when I mentioned blessing and curse, you said you wanted to hold on to that because we were going to do the awesome openings playlist.
Oh, I thought we were doing the.
Yeah, here it is. Sunday, July 12th. How about blessing and curse for a theme? He said, and then you said for next week or add it to the list. I said either, LOL. You said it doesn't matter to me. We can do it next. I already added the awesome beginnings to the list. I said, then let's do that one next time. It just made the list. So you and I both have half of
uh,
we've both done half of a different playlist.
all right.
Well,
Well,
shit.
all
we
right.
definitely
Well,
we definitely got our wires crossed there.
that's fine. Then you know what? We're going to do both. How about that?
Let's do it. All right, let's do it.
Yeah. I'll do my half. You add your half to that one, and you do your half, and I'll add the other half to
There we
yours.
go. All
So,
right, that sounds like a. All
so
right, so then I have
you're getting a two for this week. So,
I'll have to do curse. That's fine.
you know, so
Okay, cool.
which if I knew that, I just did the whole thing, and then you could have just did the whole thing on that one, and we've been done with it.
Well, yeah, I mean that is
uh,
true.
but yeah,
Okay.
we'll just do it that way. You can do the curse
Okay.
side. You can add this uh, curse side to yours, and then I'll put mine on there, and then you can do the what you call it. What was the other
Aw-
one?
Awesome openings
Awesome openings. Yeah,
or
we'll do
awesome beginnings. We called it. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome beginnings. Okay. So, but yeah, so I wouldn't have no problem filling in that one probably. So,
No, probably not.
uh, anyway, so blessing and curse side. I got the blessing side. He'll add the curse side later. My
Well,
blessings.
I'll be cursing a lot about it. So
Oh yeah. So the blessing side, I had Exodus Count Your Blessings from Force of Habit, of course, in 1992.
yep.
I had Ice Earth Burning Times from the album The Blessed and the Damned, 2004. Black Label Society Funeral Bell from the Blessed Hell Ride, 2018. Power Wolf Amen and Attack from Best of the Blessed, 2020. Bloodhound, Bless the Unholy, Book of the Dead, 2007. Bless the Fall, Cutthroat from Hard Feelings, 2018. Megadeth, Bless the Dead from United Abominations, 2007. Uh, so Dio's Holy Diver, because Holy Blessings, I guess.
Yep.
So,
Oh yeah.
from Holy Diver, self titled album in 83. Throwdown Holy Roller from Venom and Tears from 2007. Then I also had to add Spirit Box's Holy Roller, that was just a single in 2020. Then I went with That Art is Murder, Holy War from Holy War in 2015. UDO Holy Invaders from Game Over in 2021. Seven Dust Holy Water from Truth Killer 2023. And last but not least, Powerway Drive Sacred, which was a single earlier this year. So,
Nice. Yeah. All right. Well, good. I got some homework to do for that one.
yeah.
All right, and then and then the awesome beginnings. Which I did stop at 30,
Jesus
and
Christ.
yeah, I stopped at 30, and the funny thing is well, I'll get to it in a minute. Um, so so to start off, I had now these are songs that have really cool intros.
Right.
That's just all it is. Intros we really like. That's all there is to it. Pretty straightforward. Number one, From the Cradle to the Grave by Havoc off Point of No Return from 2012. I put this next one on here with an asterisk because it's not the song I wanted to put on here, because you can't fucking put the song I wanted to put on here because it's not on Spotify. So I went with Painkiller by Judas Priest off the album of the same name from 1990. I wanted to put Burn in Hell on here,
Of
but
course
you
you did.
but you can't because goddamn Jugulator is not on Spotify. Then I went with Iron Man by Black Sabbath from Paranoid 1970. Oh, and by the way, this was a theme that we actually decided on before everything that happened with Ozzy.
I know. That's
This
pretty
was
crazy.
before that's how long I've been sitting on this one. It was before Ozzy passed away. So Iron Man by Black Sabbath, Paranoid 1970. Then I had Crazy Train by Ozzy Osbourne off the Blizzard of Oz from 1980. Run to the Hills by Iron Maiden, Number of the Beast 1982. Raining Blood by Slayer, Rain in Blood from 86. One by Metallica and Justice for All from 88. Cowboys from Hell from Pantera, album of the same name from 90. Black Flag by Iced Earth off Incorruptible from 2017. Indians by Anthrax, Among the Living from 86. Hell's Bells by AC/DC, Back in Black from 80. Dig by Mudvayne, LD50 from 2000. Left Behind by Slipknot, Iowa 2001. Your Betrayal, Bullet for My Valentine, Scream Aim Fire from 08. Head Crusher by Megadeth from Endgame from 09. Welcome to the Jungle, Guns N' Roses, Appetite for Destruction, 1987. Rock You Like a Hurricane, Scorpions, Love at First Sting from 84. Shout at the Devil by Motley Crue, same album of the same name from 83. Running with the Devil by Van Halen, self-titled album from 78. Blind by Korn, off their self-titled album from 94. Thunder Kiss 65, White Zombie, La Sexorcisto, Devil Music Volume 1 from 92. Anthem, We Are the Fire by Trivium, The Crusade from '06. This is why I laughed, because we have two different goddamn playlists, and both of us had Holy Diver by Dio from Holy Diver 1983.
That's funny.
Then I had Sober by Tool from Undertow from '93. Toxicity by System of a Down, album of the same name from '01. Push It by Static X, Wisconsin Death Trip from '99. Weidmann's Heil by Rammstein off Liebe ist für alle da from 2009. Loco by Cold Chamber off of Cold Chamber from '97. Resurrection by Erection by Powerwolf, Bible of the Beast from 2009. And this one I added just in the last couple days as a tribute to Ozzy, Mr. Crowley by Ozzy Osbourne, No More Tears, 1991. So,
Awesome.
yep.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. So we'll get those compiled and over as soon as possible. I know it's going to take a little while now since we got to do the other side of things, but that's all right. If it's a day or two, that's fine. You're going to get a twofer to keep you busy for
yes,
a month,
you are
before the next month probably, because hopefully we'll have interviews for a couple of weeks. We'll see.
But you do have plenty of theme of the week playlists to listen to in the meantime.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Absolutely do.
All right, that will give us over into our album reviews. This week, I chose the band Paralysis. The new album is called Spiral of Suffering. Paralysis, get that right, is a thrash crossover metal band, which I've never heard crossover metal band before. That's what I was telling you. I was like, the fuck's a crossover metal band? I'm like,
the funny thing is that write up that I did last week for Terror Dome, they were listed as a thrash crossover band, but like I said in the write up, I'm not real. I think it's supposed to be like thrash with kind of like punk influences. I think punk kind of like crosses over from
not this album.
No, and I said the same. I said the same thing. I said the same thing on my write up. I said the same thing. I said there's really no crossover elements here. What's up, Hank Hill? What's going on, man?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that's what crossover is supposed to be. Kind of like the closest thing that I can come up with off the top of my head is some of the stuff that Rick does with.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, band was formed in 2010 and hailing from Long Valley, New Jersey. Their current lineup is John Plemenik, vocals and guitarist, Patrick Hartz, backing vocals and bass, Stephen Rago on drums, and Tommy Vasta on guitars. Now, the interesting part of this is, let me go and make sure I'm not lying here. So the drummer and the guitarist. This is their first album with the band. Like they've both been in there for a couple of years, but this is the first album since 2020. So they've kind of came in after the fact. And then the bass player's just been on the two albums before, so this is his third release. So this is their third full length. So he's been on all three full lengths.
Okay.
But anyway, it just surprises me of how tight this album is for those guys only being together such a short time. I think John Plemenik, the vocalist and guitarist, is the only original member left. So so it's kind of like wow that it's so tight. But anyway, like I said, this is the band's third full length record. They also have 4 EPs in their arsenal too, though. So I mean, it's plenty of stuff to check out for them. So which I'm planning on doing. I haven't gotten that far back. I want to see if there's any difference in sounds from before. So but this album consists of 10 tracks and is 31 minutes 23 seconds in length. So vocally, it brings a brutal effect of the instruments to life. I think I don't think you could have went with any other type of vocals than what they're doing, especially with some of the music compilations that they had. I think if you did a lot of cleans and stuff with it, it probably wouldn't have worked. So I mean, it's got the gritty, thrash kind of element to it, more of a Des Fafara type vocal style and stuff.
Gotcha.
And, so it's not a real clear, clean version, but it's a gritty, comprehending type vocals. So you can tell what's going on. I mean, you can tell what he's saying and stuff. It's just more of a.
Oh, sure. Okay. Yeah.
So, So now I'm gonna sound like I'm really smart here. So this is a beat down of the outer ear, which if you don't know, kind of collects the sound waves of everything for your ear. So mainly in the pinna of the ear. For
Ooh,
those for those that don't know. So
that's
uh,
definitely the first. That's definitely the first time that word's been uttered
uh,
on the Metalhead Unite
oh,
podcast.
yeah, yeah. So I was like, being in pharmacy, I hear stuff all the time, outside of that, and I'm like, oh, that'd be a good, if I ever hear a good analogy to put that into a review, I'm going to do it. So finally it came. So, anyways, Steven's an octopus person, I think, by the way he plays the drums. I think we talk about this for a few drummers, but this
Nice.
guy is just like, I'm just like, drummers sometimes amaze me and just how fast paced and like even more heavy they can play. It's just like, Jesus Christ, dude, do you like have a second to stop or anything? Like, you got three legs and you play with your penis. I don't know, man. So it's like, damn, dude, it's like, this is crazy. Just hearing it all over the place. Like, damn. It's almost like he's in a damn stool turning around in it. You know what I mean? Just hitting everything on the way around.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy. But guitar works amazing on this album. Some really good solos. You'll definitely love that part of it. I know you're a big
Cool.
solo guy.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
some really hyped up intros and some beastly breakdowns too. So definitely, man. So
Beastly breakdowns. I like that too.
beastly breakdowns. Yep. The bass is heard in many parts as well, which we always talk about. It's kind of hard to pick that out sometimes, but I think mainly the only reason I am is because it may be kind of hard to keep up with the drumming. Maybe I don't know, but it's I mean, don't get me wrong, he's got to be talented to keep up with that drumming. So, so definitely going to check out the rest of the earlier stuff on that one, especially with all the line note changes they had in those. So to see if there's any kind of advancement that they've done, or if it's kind of the same platform, just different people, or what happened there. So, but I'm gonna say this one's an easy four horns for me. So,
Sweet. Nice. Very, very nice. All right, hang on a second. I'm looking at something here. I'll get back to that. All right. My album review this week is the new album New Messiahs by Ashes of Aries. They are technically currently a trio, even though there's actually technically only two active members in the band. It's kind of strange.
okay,
It's a trio that started back in. They are a progressive / power metal band formed in Newburgh, New York, in 2012. It's actually two members of Iced Earth and the a former member of Nevermore.
yeah,
So you got Freddie Vidales and Matt Barlow from Iced Earth, and you had Van Williams, the drummer from Nevermore. They were the three who originated with the band. Van Williams left in 2017, and Kyle Taylor is actually technically he's basically just a guest / session drummer. He is credited as the drummer for this album, but I guess he's actually not full fledged 100% in the band. So Kyle Taylor is formerly from Infusion. So you have Freddie Vidales on guitar and bass, and you have Matt Barlow on vocals. Kyle Taylor played the drums. Their lyrical themes are life, fantasy, and faith. They are currently signed to Rock of Angels Records. This is the band's fourth album, with their debut album, a self-titled debut that came out in 2013, leading up to the new album yesterday. And they did release one EP in 2020. The album that was released on Spotify is 10 tracks, 48:25. Apparently, there is also a release that came out yesterday with a couple of covers on it. That is not the version that's on Spotify.
no, okay,
Yeah. So, um, if you've listened to if you listen to Iced Earth at all, especially the Matt Barlow era Iced Earth, then then you understand how kind of distinctive a voice that Matt has,
mm-hmm.
and which is another reason why, of course, with Freddie being in Iced Earth also, there are obviously shades and influences from Iced Earth here, no doubt about it. But this band, I guess it's a project. I guess at this point, I don't know. 2 full-time members. I guess it's technically a band. But anyway, the album is more melodic than Iced Earth for sure. But one thing that I like about this new album is there's two things that stick out to me the most is the diversity and the balance. It's a very diverse album. But it's also very balanced at the same time. You have all sorts of different tempos, up tempo, down tempo, mid tempo. You have a little bit of everything. Matt Barlow can sing anything.
Oh
There's
yeah.
also, there's also a full-fledged ballad at track number 7. So I mean, he can sing anything. He can sing up tempo. He can sing down tempo. He can sing fast, slow, heavy. Doesn't matter. He can sing a full-fledged ballad, which he does here. Track 1 is an instrumental, which technically kind of does flow into track 2, but it's kind of weird the way they wrote it because there's kind of like a little bit of like I don't know. It's some sort of chant that's in the background of the intro, but at some point the intro ends, and there's like instead of flowing seamlessly from the intro into the second track, which is the title track, by the way. So the intro fits in with the title track, but at 2 minutes and 9 seconds, the instrumental ends, and there's like the traditional amount of gap from one track to the other before the intro goes into track 2. But the chant from the instrumental intro picks up in the title track, but it's kind of strange that they didn't flow one right into the other because the chant just continues. So it's very strange the way they arranged that. I figured it would have flowed right into the second track, you know? So I don't know. It was very strange the way they composed that. Theo Arts and Crafts joining us on YouTube in the chat. Thank you. I am going to. What song are we talking about? Well, Theo, it's good that you asked that because I am actually doing my album review for the new Messiah's album by Ashes of Aries, and the 2 tracks that I am talking about are track number 1, Novus Ordo, which is a 2-minute and 9-second instrumental intro that leads into track number 2, the title track. So we talk about a lot when we do our reviews about how intros are used and how they flow and do they relate, and so that was one of the things that was odd to me is that the intro does relate and it does flow into the second track, but they put in a regular song break between the first and second, so there's really no flow even though there is direct correlation from
Gotcha.
the 2 tracks. So it's very, very strange. The rest of the album, it flows really well. It kind of has like a sine wave, you know what I mean? It ebbs and flows. It goes up and down. There's peaks and valleys. Like I say, there's rhythm changes. There's tempo changes all throughout. The mix is done well to the point that all of the instruments are very well represented by the ear. I am a little disappointed by kind of the flatness of the mix. The instruments weren't really given a chance to kind of sing the way they needed to because the mix was a little flatter than I would have expected.
Mm.
And one thing that I'm surprised that they didn't do, especially since the 2 of them are actually in Iced Earth together, is they didn't take as much of an advantage of Matt's vocal range that I would have expected. They didn't really have Matt hit any high notes until the very, very end of the ballad, and it was kind of on the outro. So I thought that was strange. They didn't really take advantage. They didn't take full advantage of Matt's range vocally
Mm-hmm.
that like they did in Iced Earth. Because in Iced Earth, he's got some times where he's really just knocking it out of the park, and they really didn't do that here, with the exception of the ballad. So that was kind of a surprise to me that they didn't do that because Matt can really. Don't get me wrong, he's not Rob Halford or anything, but Matt's
Right.
got a hell of a range. He's got one
Mm-hmm.
hell of a range, and they really didn't take advantage of it here like I thought they would. So I mean, I'm not disappointed. I'm just kind of surprised because, like I say, Matt can sing anything. He can sing anything you want. So, between that little kind of, like I say, it's not a deal breaker by any stretch of the imagination. It was kind of just a little bit of a surprise when someone can hit higher notes
Right.
and he really only kind of does it at one and in one spot. You know,
Be like hearing Ripper do a ballad or something.
yeah. Well, Well, that's the funny thing is he actually sang Diamonds and Rust at the
No,
show
that's
when we were
true.
there. So he
That's true.
can't.
Yeah.
So again, Ripper can sing anything you want also. But
Well, I'm just saying it's kind of unexpected to hear him do them though.
oh,
So, it's
absolutely.
kind
No,
of wow. Okay.
it absolutely was. I mean, he nailed it, but it was kind of a surprise to hear that. So Theo, that's the answer to your question. I was talking about tracks 1 and 2. But overall, I mean, the album was good. It was very well done. Like I say, except a little bit of the muddiness with the mix. It wasn't as crisp as I would have expected. But I mean, but Freddie did a great job with he did a great job with the guitar solos. The the solo on the ballad especially. I mean, it was a 6 minute and 8 second ballad, so it was a little bit of a longer ballad, but they also gave the guitar solo a little bit of an extended period in the ballad. So I mean, and by Freddie absolutely like tore it apart in a good way. But overall, I'm going to give this one 3.5 horns this week.
Okay. Good deal.
Yeah.
Mm. Usually we go into what's coming up next week, but I think we're going to hold off on that since we're kind of going a little bit over than what we usually do. So we'll
Yeah.
just surprise you guys with album reviews next week. So
Well, the surprise as far as the album reviews is they're going to be write ups because, like we said at the beginning of the
right,
show, we do have an interview coming up.
yeah, that's one of the and out. I thought about it. I say, I'm not going to give everything away, but I will say this: it'll be our first Christian metal band we've had on the
Yep.
show. So
Yep.
I will give you that much. If you want any of that other stuff, you have to follow us on our socials.
You'll
So
have to you'll have to follow us and then tune in next Saturday at
that's
10. That's right.
That's right. In the meantime, you can always check out our 24/7 streaming radio station at stream.trulyradio247.com/8008/stream. And like I said before, follow us on our socials for all the updates.
That's right. Our Facebook group, our Facebook page, our X account, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, our YouTube channel, Rumble. Check out all of the interviews and all of the playlists on our Spotify. Then, if you have any other questions, you can email us at metalheadsuniteusa@gmail.com.
Yep. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, like I said, hopefully, we kind of got back into a little bit of our normal stuff here. So, being with a lot of band interviews, we don't get to do this too often. So sometimes we forget the flow of things. So,
Yeah, we do.
hey, thanks Theo for
Hey,
subscribing. That's awesome, man. Appreciate it.
yes, Theo, thank you for that. We greatly appreciate that. And we also got Farsh and Chops. He's actually a new subscriber for us on Twitch too. So we
Oh,
thank you
nice,
guys
awesome.
both for that. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Thank you very,
Yeah,
very much.
hopefully we can turn you guys on to some newer bands and stuff like that. So, like I said,
That's right.
if you need to, want to see any of our former interviews, they're all on Spotify and YouTube. That's pretty much the two basics that stay forever. So, even
Yep.
Facebook's got to where they close and stuff after 30 days, I think now or something.
Yeah,
So it's
Facebook started deleting
and
live
then
video recordings after 30 days, but YouTube,
and of course and of
YouTube,
course and of course Twitch only keeps 2 weeks worth, I think. So,
yeah. So
so
YouTube, it's all there. So
YouTube, Rumble, and Spotify are three forever sites as far as we know. So,
yeah, yeah.
so, so you can always watch the band interviews there. And then, of course, if you want to hear any new releases, we do a new playlist every week.
Hmm.
It's posted up on Spotify there. It usually says Metalhead Unite 2025, and then it's I want to look into black metal, and we cover some black metal sometimes here.
Yeah,
So we try to cover a little bit of everything, but
yeah.
it's especially on the radio station, there's a little bit of everything on there. There's stuff
Yes,
from
there
the hair metal
absolutely is.
era, like we talked about earlier. There's black metal, there's death metal, there's metalcore.
There is literally a little bit of
A
everything.
little bit of everything there. So
There's some symphonic power metal from our friends in Valkyrie's Fire. I
mhm.
mean, there is literally a little bit of everything. And if there's Theo, if you go to the radio station or whatever, and there's something that you get turned on to, and you want us to add it, just send us a message, man, and we'll add it. It's no problem.
Yep. All right. That being said, hopefully we'll see you back here next week for a special interview.
Yep.
Same time though, Saturday 10 a.m. So we'll still be at the same time, same place. So,
Yep.
but until then, hopefully you guys have a good week, and we'll see you next week. Keep those horns held high. Jump in that pit anytime you can.
Have a great week, everybody. Thank you.